This conference will
everyone,
now be recorded.
we're going to be asking all the attendees once the meeting gets started to mute their lines, and then when you have a question to ask or whatnot, you can unmute. All right.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you.
I see we have another caller on the line. Caller number 4. Hi, I'm the board secretary, Kevin Usnaboa. What's your name?
Caller number 4, hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry, are you referring to the 813 number?
Yeah, well, we can't see your number for privacy purposes, but yeah, I'm assuming that's you because it just lit up when you said something. Could we just get your name?
Okay. Yes, hi. This is Diane Caldwood-Royer.
Diane.
Caldwood, C-A-O.
C. How do you spell your last name?
C like Charlie, A-L-D like David, W-O-O-D, and then Royer, R-O-Y-E-R.
Okay.
Hi, this is Nabaraj KC.
Hi. Oh, Nabaraj KC. How are you doing, sir?
How come
Good,
you're
how
not
are you?
logging in, Nabaraj, so we can see you?
Oh, I am dialing the actually from the phone.
Oh, you don't want to see us?
I would love to, but I don't have that access at this moment.
Okay, Nabaraj, it's Renetta. It's nice to hear from you.
I know. Thank you, Renata. I can recognize your voice without any doubt.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. So what do you think about this as the flag, Kevin?
What?
Which one?
This is gonna be the flag. Let me see. Why can I?
You gotta go down to share screen.
Did the VP already appointed or renewed all the new members or not yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
But why don't I see share my screen anymore?
Should be at the bottom when you move your mouse around.
I'm gonna make you the presenter, right, for real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make myself the presenter. Okay. So do you think I should do like that? To just show the map? What do you think?
If you want, I can make it like the full screen so that when if you want, I'll do it.
Okay, good. So let me take it back then. Let me Okay. Who's caller number 6? Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Jacqueline with the Office of State Senator Ramos.
Okay, how are you doing? I'll put your name
well,
in.
How are you?
Thanks, Renata.
And you should have received the folder, correct? Jacqueline?
I am calling in because I'm for some reason not able to gain access to the webinar, but I do have the meeting agenda.
Oh, you're not getting access? You sure? You want to try it again? That's weird. I know some people
It may be tech issues on my end.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. How's this, Renata?
Okay, you can grab the screen. Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
How's
perfect. That's great. Great job. Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
Very good. Okay.
All right, let me close that out. Oop, cancel. How do I do that? There we go. All right, so that's ready to go when you're ready.
Okay.
Ooh, I love that I see everybody's names.
Yeah, I think that works out better. Wendy, Normel and Diane. I don't know if you have the community board's email address, because we're trying to collect everyone's email address so we can send them the agendas via email, or you can find it on our website if you want to look for the agenda for tonight.
I believe
Okay.
it's on the flyer. I have a flyer. Yes, you have. Yeah, you have an email address. You have my daughter's email address.
Oh, so you do have the agenda. You got it from the website?
Yes.
Oh, good. Just want to make sure, because I know that we're trying to build up our email list.
Right.
And my name is Renetta English. I'm the chair of Queens Community Board number 3. Nice meeting all of you.
A pleasure.
So our meeting starts at 7:30. I know a lot of you dialed in early. That's wonderful. And most of our members will start coming in around 7:15, and we're going to start promptly at 7:30.
Okay.
And I hope everyone is doing well, because I know we all know that we're all going through some challenges at this time, but we will get through it.
Yes, we will.
I'm still working on the download, Kevin.
That's a long time.
Well, listen, I'm an old lady. Listen, it's going to take
Nothing
me
to
a
do with this,
minute.
sweetheart. Maybe I'll take this thing off and turn it back on again. What do you think, Kevin? I just have to remember.
What? The
The
recording?
recording, yeah. Or should I just leave it alone?
It's up to you. I mean, I don't think we need to really start recording until we take attendance.
This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, very good. Hello, everyone. My name is Renetta English. I'm chair of Queens Community Board number 3. I'd like to welcome board members that are here today, and I'd like to also welcome those from the community. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our second teleconference meeting, and for the month of April. Hello, how are you doing? I see one of our speakers, she's here. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin with our roll call. And let me just see. I just want to make sure see if Ms. Reed's on it. So begin with the roll call, Kevin.
All right, I just unmuted. I did the master unmute everyone.
And then you'll just explain how we're going to do.
Okay, well, actually, let me mute everybody again. Hold on, Renetta, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I'm Kevin Hughes-Naboa. I'm the board secretary. I just did a master mute, all right, so that everybody's line is now muted from our end. But if you could all do the individual mute on your end, that way when I do a master unmute, so that, like what just happened, somebody unmuted their line and there was a lot of feedback. It could interrupt the speaker, it could interrupt the voting. So what we're going to do is, if everyone can mute their lines on their end, and I'm going to mute everyone on this end, when I unmute, only those that are going to be raising a question or saying, you know, here, or voting or whatnot, will unmute on their end to vote or raise their question or say I'm here, and then mute themselves so that we can reduce the amount of feedback. All right. In addition, if you are here on the web, you have a chat box on the right side of your screen. Okay, that is where we will be asking people to pose their questions. And I will be relaying all the questions from the chat box to the speakers, just in the essence of time, and unmuting and muting, it lessens the amount of time. We will then, following that, we will have a session where we will open the floor to the callers. So if you are a caller and you don't have the option to do the chat box, we will unmute the lines. Hopefully everyone else will still be on mute on their end. But if you have a question that you'd like to ask, you can use that opportunity to unmute and ask your question. If somebody's already in the midst of asking their question, please wait until that person is done asking their question and then unmute your line and ask your question. Okay? All right, so I'm going to unmute everybody. So hopefully by now everyone has gone and muted themselves on their end. And I'm going to do the roll call. And so when it comes to your turn, unmute yourself so that you can say here and then please go back onto mute. Sound good? Okay. All right, here goes unmute all. Okay. Now I am going to start with the roll call. Ann Brown.
And
Oh yeah,
Miss
Renetta?
Reed Miss Reed is on the line too, so I have to see which number she is.
Okay.
Miss Reed, just say your name so I can see what number, so I can label you.
When they call your name, just say you.
Yeah. Giovanna?
Yeah, Mr. Gandhi.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Mr. Gandhi. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, I'm going to do the roll call now, okay? Ann Brown. Elba Buendia.
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury.
Yes.
Heiko Corneliuson. Shiv Das.
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No, Shiv Das.
Okay, everyone please
Hello?
put your lines on mute, please.
Vivian, we hear you. Vivian is there.
Everyone, please put your lines on mute. I'm getting a large amount of feedback and I won't be able to hear people when they say here. So please, individually, please put your lines on mute. Okay, let's try this again. All right, so Shiv Das, Sonia Davis Roberts, Vivian Dock.
She's here.
Okay, Margaret Dossier.
Vivian?
Just a quick correction. When you get to your name, you need to unmute so that you can say here.
Okay, go ahead, Kev.
Okay, Margaret Dossier. Mr. Gandhi.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Gideon.
And you will lose
Mr. Gideon?
He's not on right now.
Okay. Lorinda Hooks.
Selected 12th night node.
Okay.
The Tempest Prospero.
I'm in.
Here's something. 3005 only.
Is that Joyce?
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't call your name yet. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh.
Okay. Joyce, please put your line on mute, okay? Lorinda Hooks.
Yes.
Mr. Hollader. Okay, Joyce Julian, I know is here. Nabaraj KC.
Yes, I'm here.
Edward Kiernan.
Here.
Stephen Kohanek.
He just came in.
He just came in?
Steven, say here. Steve. He just came in.
Okay.
Here.
Marta
Mr.
Leverton.
Gandhi.
Here.
Carlos Andre Lopez. Bill Meehan.
Got me, Kevin?
Yeah, I did, Steve. Thank you. Bill Meehan.
Here. Here.
Isa Masulam.
Here.
Richard Mink. Ralph Moreno. Richard Mullings. Nuala O'Doherty. Laverne Nimmons.
Here.
Veronica Ing.
Here.
Philip Hoppus.
Here.
Esteban Peralta. Ladisa Perez. Dorothy Phelan. Megan Rockwell.
Here.
Costa Rodriguez.
Yes.
Jairo Rodriguez. Ignacio Romero.
Beyonce, somebody has their, if you have any TV on in the background, please turn it off. No background noises, please.
I see
Ann
who it
Brown
is.
is here.
I see who
Hi,
it is.
Stuart Wadden is here.
Hold on,
Who?
please.
Stuart Wadden from Swim Two Birds.
Okay, you're not up yet, Stu. Welcome.
Yes, I know. Do you want me to just mute myself and
Yes, please.
find something else
Yes,
to do
please.
until?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And
Yes. If
Edwin
you're
will
just
call you when
joining
it's your
us,
turn.
if you're just joining us, please put your line on mute, okay? Leoncio Romero, Tammy Rose, Edmund Rosenbaum,
Here.
David Rosero, Lobsang Salaka, Lobsang, okay. Jimmy Smith, Marlene Tapper, Frank Taylor, Arthur Tyler,
He's gonna come in later because it's Passover.
okay.
Richard
Chanel Thomas
Mullings,
Henry,
Here.
Pat Thorpe, Hamlet Wallace,
Rich here. Richard.
Richard Mullings.
Oh, Richard Mullings. Okay, I'm marking you. All right. Hamlet Wallace.
Here.
Troy Washington Simon.
Here.
Edwin Wesley. All right. I'm just gonna, Renetta, if that's okay, I'm gonna just go through the ones that I have marked as not here, just to see if they came in the last minute or two. Okay.
All right, and let me just say, Miss Reed, can you say your name so I can label your name?
Giovanna Reed.
Which one was that, Kevin? Did you see her name come up?
I did not see, but I can tell you right now. Renetta, Giovanna, could you say it again, please?
Giovanna Reed.
Caller 1.
12. No, she's 12.
Oh, it came up as caller 1 on my end. Sorry.
I think you're number
Okay.
12, Miss Reed.
Okay.
All right. Ann Brown, Heiko, Shiv Das, Sonny Davis
I'm
Roberts.
here, Kevin.
Ann
Who's
is
that?
here. Ann.
Oh, Ann Brown. Okay. Sonny Davis Roberts, Margaret Dossier, Mr. Gideon, Lorinda Hooks, Mr. Hollader, Carlos Andre Lopez, Richard Mink, Ralph Moreno, Nuala O'Doherty, Esteban Peralta, Ladisla Perez, Dorothy Phelan, Jairo Rodriguez.
Yeah,
I'm here,
Kevin.
Who's that?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Great. Okay, let me just mark you. All right. Jairo Rodriguez, Leoncio Romero, Tammy Rose, David Rosero, Lobsang Salaka, Jimmy Smith, Marlene Tapper, Frank Taylor, Arthur Tyler, Pat Thorpe, Edwin Wesley.
How is our numbers looking?
We are at 26 present, 24 absent.
Mr. Gideon just came in.
You didn't call Pastor Peter Heron.
I called you in the first round, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, I have you marked. I knew you were here because I saw you log on earlier, so I knew you were here.
Okay.
So, Mr. Gideon? Mr. Gideon just came on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any
is there
other
anyone else? Any other board members that any other board members that were not here when I called their name?
Juan Delgado.
No, he's not a board member.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado. You're a resident. I'm just looking for board members right now. Any board members that were not here when I called their name? Okay, so we're at 27 board members present.
All right, so we have a quorum then.
Yes.
All right, well, welcome everyone. So I know that, as you can see, does everyone have a copy? All board members, you should have received an email with the folder for this month that includes the And I know that I saw our first speaker is supposed to be our New York City Comptroller. James, can you let us know what time the Comptroller is coming? James, I see you join.
James, are you there?
Yes, you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so yes, well, 7:40, right? That's when you said he should come on. I can try to get him sooner if you're ready now.
I think we can, if just want to make sure he's coming on, and we can do that. So I just want to make sure he's coming.
So 7:40, we're sticking to
Yeah,
that?
because almost 7:40, so we can wait the 5 minutes. But if you want to call him, if he wants to come in a little earlier, he can.
Okay, I can do that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, James.
All right.
So I'd like to thank all the board members for joining us, and then we also have some residents here. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, if you do not have a copy of the agenda, you can find it on our website. You can Google Queens Community Board number 3. It's on our website, it's on Twitter, and it's also on Facebook. So we're going to open up the meeting with our controller, who's going to give a presentation, and then we'll have a presentation from Kate Hurt. Kate, are you on the line yet?
Yes, I'm here. Good to see you.
Okay, great. So followed by that, we'll have Dr. Hurt, who's from Weill Cornell. She'll do her presentation. And then we'll go into our normal public hearings. And we have, Edmund, do you want to just call out to see who's here, to make sure that they're here in the room? All right, Edmund. Yes, please.
Oh.
Okay, Rico Taco Corp.
Yes, we're present.
Okay, Ms. Cangrejo.
Yes, we're present. Can you hear us?
And you're present via video, correct?
Casa Rubio Restaurant.
Yes. Yes.
And Swim Two Birds LLC.
Yes, I'm here. Stuart Wadden. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So we have all the presenters there for today.
Once again, if you could please all mute your lines, it'll reduce on the feedback, and only speak when, only unmute when you are called upon to speak, please. So if you could please all mute your lines if you're not already muted. Thank you.
So how's everyone doing? I hope okay. You all look well. No responses, I guess, while I'm trying to kill time, huh? No response, because everyone's muted, so it's only Kevin and I. Miss Reed, I don't know if you'll have a conversation with me. Let's see, is she unmuted?
Renetta?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Renetta?
Yes.
I'd be happy to as well, Miss English. Hi, I'm Maggie Flanagan. I'm a resident. Hi to everybody. I was really thrilled to see recently our police and sanitation and homeless services come together in one of the problem spots in our district, which is particularly rough at this time. So I thought that might be news folks would be happy to hear.
Thank you. It's nice that you were able to dial in.
Hi, Renetta. Janice Scurry.
Hello, Janice. How are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
We are so sad for the loss of that wonderful officer.
Mohammed.
Yes. He was at our February meeting. Such a nice man, such a lovely smile.
He was all of that, and every day he was the same way, so helpful, so kind. He extended himself to the fullest extent as our other officers, our other auxiliary officers, the police officers are doing.
Yeah, so we thank all of our services for all their service. And he volunteered his time, and now he's passed, and we're so sad about that.
Yes, it was very hurtful. I'm really still, when I heard about it, tears just came to my eyes. I mean, because I knew him, and he, and it's hurtful because when people volunteer their services not getting paid, I mean, whether they get paid or not, so concerned about the community and helping the community. This is the main thing. It's like in this pandemic is we're in. They still go out there and serve the community and put their lives in jeopardy.
Yeah. But nice seeing you, Janice Scurry, or speaking to you. I don't know if you're on. You can see. So, James?
Yes. I'm back.
Okay.
So I told the other people in our office to get him ready. So Controller Stringer should be calling in now.
Is he calling in, or are we going to see him?
There was a
I
prompt that said control
Oh, there he goes. You're right in the middle. How are you doing, Controller Stringer? How are you doing? I'm Renetta English. I'm Chair of Queens Community Board number 3. Welcome to our meeting. Your volume isn't on. Turn his volume on, Kev.
Each one of the open items in front of them. They said it'd be so cute.
Have they watched Mulan? Is that their favorite?
Well, when Grandma was at their house, we were
Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. Welcome to our second teleconference meeting for Community Board number 3. And what we're going to do, everyone, Kevin, can you put everyone on mute? Okay, here you go. There you go. Welcome, Controller.
Thank you very much. And I know you have a big agenda, but I wanted to come on and just talk to you for a minute or two about some of the things we're seeing in this new world we're living in. And I know that this community has been hit very hard by COVID. And I know that the struggle for our small businesses, for people who are burying their parents and their grandparents, this has been something that nobody could have anticipated, but I know we're all in this together. 2 weeks ago, I lost my own mother to this terrible virus, and there's very little closure because you can't have a funeral, you can't mourn in the traditional way, and I think that's what's bringing the whole city together. But I want you to know that part of the work that our office is doing is to bring about a real discussion about why some communities, mostly communities of color, are being hit extra hard by the virus as opposed to other communities. And it really goes to the health disparities that have existed for many, many years. And we're seeing that everywhere we go. When my mom was in the hospital in the Bronx, because she's a Bronx woman from back in the day, the doctors said to me, we're not just seeing 80-year-olds in the hospital, but in the Bronx, we're seeing people who are 50 and 60, and they have type 2 diabetes, and there's pre-existing conditions, and it starts at an early age with, pollution plants and obesity issues and overcrowding in our communities. And I'm going to send the community board a number of reports we've already done. One is on frontline workers. The other is on communities of color that have been impacted. So I'm going to try to use this office to think about ways to finally end this inequality at the same time we fight the virus.
All right. Would you like questions, or would you?
If anyone would like to ask a question too, I know you have a busy agenda, but
No, you have the time because we gave you. If you would like to speak about anything else, but if you would like to field some questions, that'll be good.
Be
and
happy
I guess we could do the conversation can go that way. So we're gonna unmute everyone. How do you want to do this, Kev? Do you get some questions?
Nobody expressed any questions in the chat box, so I'm gonna ask everyone to please make sure your line is on mute, and I'm gonna do the master unmute on my end. Okay, so make sure your line is on mute, and if you have a question, please feel free to unmute and ask the question, but please be respectful if somebody else is asking a question to not interrupt their question, okay?
And it's going to be one question per person, okay?
Yes.
Hey, hello,
all right.
It's me, Nabaraj, if I have a chance to ask.
Yes, go ahead, Nabaraj.
My question to him is, actually, I am from the Nepalese community here in Jackson Heights, and we have a lot of folks, they are infected with the COVID-19, and they are being lack of PPE stuff, and predominantly the thermometers and the Tylenol, they are totally out of it. Do you think his office can provide anything to the community as a donation?
Well, part of my office, unlike other offices, we don't give out money, we watch the money, but that doesn't mean that we can't work with community-based organizations and partner with Jessica Ramos and Catalina Cruz, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, and James is representing me tonight at the board, and if we can get your information, I can try to help. The other thing I think people should know is that in addition to medical issues, we also are doing a lot for small businesses. We've now established a webinar for small businesses translated in 12 different languages, and I'll make sure you have that at your disposal because we started it today. We had over 300 small business owners on the call. We've got to get you information so we can restart the economy with our small business.
Great. Thank you.
This is Laverne Nimmons. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all started some kind of like secondary location for testing here in the Community Board 3 area? Someone had mentioned earlier that the only place now that we have to go for testing is the hospital, Elmhurst Hospital, and that is a little crazy. So do you know if there's been any other opportunities for people in Community Board 3 to get testing?
Look, I think the testing procedure in the city and in the state is haphazard. I don't know specifically the locations. I'll have James check on that. But I do think that the mayor's call for 50,000 tests is ridiculously low. We're going to ramp up the economy. I believe we need 500,000 tests at minimum in the city and massive increases in areas where people can go, not to go by car and bus, but you should have a testing site eventually down the block. This is going to be one of the key ways we jumpstart life back to normal before we find a vaccine or an antiviral medication. So you'll hear more from me in the coming days. I've been talking to scientists and experts in the field, and the whole notion that we can't test on a large scale really going to come back to haunt us. When you think about what they're doing in Germany and other nations, and we just continue to log in place, it's just a failure of the entire government.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can I just, it's Stuart Wadden here. Can I just make a comment on that last point? I'm pretty sure that I already had it, and I just wonder what are the options for those of us that think they have it for antibody testing.
Well, that is about to come online, is my understanding, and that's again going to be key to bringing people back into the community, back into the job market first and foremost. I don't pretend to be the scientist in the group or the doctor, but there are two key tests that could really help shape this. And, I'm getting up to speed, not just from an economic perspective, but also what we have to do medically. People who may have the antibody that may not get it again for some time. It's important to have that information so people can certainly go back without fear of infection again. I don't think we are where we have to be in the city or the state, and that is something we're all going to have to collectively ask questions about and push for.
Okay, Mr. Chowdhury.
Yes, thank you. This is Mukit Chaudhry from Bangladesh. I have a question to our guest. Today, I was observing the president telling that in 5 minutes time we can make a test. We have plenty of test sets. Are there going to be practice in New York? Because I heard we have lost from our community over 150 people. And most of them are asking me, when can we make test? Because without symptom, they cannot make test. But can you do something that those who have little symptom without big hassle, they can make 5-minute test? Is it possible?
Well, this is what we have to build towards. We have a lot of people who have the virus who may show little symptoms, but it makes sense that they know exactly where they stand. My own mother, she had some health issues when she went to the had trouble breathing. They brought her into the emergency room until she finally got tested. Nobody knew really what she had, and person who is very, obviously older with some health issues. But we also should be testing people who are symptomatic because you could become a carrier to the virus. Look, I'm going to do everything as controller to fight in the city budget for a real campaign to bring resources into the city for massive expanded testing in all of our communities. You know that in places in this community board district and in communities of color from people with different languages and different backgrounds, these are the communities that are being hurt the most, and yet least amount of resources, testing and other issues are being given to the community. I'm going to send the community board the report we did on frontline workers. We're going to send you another report on the disparity study we did. And I'm also going to send you a brochure that's online about all a community has to know about who to contact, what help is available to people, whether you're immigrants or others who battle the coronavirus. So James will make sure the community board members get this. And I've already sent the elected officials. And I'm going to partner with Senator Ramos, Councilmember Cruz, and all your elected officials in the coming weeks. I have time to take one more question, and I'll leave you to your agenda.
Yes. So my last question is,
Thank you.
I'm very sorry about your mother. My sympathies. But what do you see as the financial impact right now, since a lot of the businesses are closed up and down our major thoroughfares? I don't know about how it's going to go in regards to the tax money being calculated. So what do you see in regards to the financial impact will cause for us right now?
A month ago, I did an analysis that showed we lost $6 billion in revenue. I think between now and the end of the year, we're going to look at each of $10 billion. The mayor just announced his budget and shows, a budget gap. We have to make sure that still that gap doesn't hurt communities vulnerable. That's going to be the budget fight. But at the end of the day, we have to do everything we can to get a better stimulus package. Maxine Waters, the congresswoman, has it right. We have got to give people help with rent. We've got to get cash to people who are struggling. The stimulus check is nice if you can get it, but a lot of our immigrants will not be eligible. So we've got to come up with a program to meet the needs of all our immigrant communities. So the budget battle is real. We've never had a budget crisis like this, not since the 1970s when the city was on the edge of bankruptcy. And I will continue to update the city as the chief financial officer. I do want to tell people who have city pensions that we are preserving those pensions. They're not in danger in any way. And please, if you have any questions for me, contact James. I wanted to come on tonight and just let you know that I'm out here. I've always believed that the community is the local community boards. You represent over 100,000 people, and I know how important it is to get information to all of you. So I thank you, Madam Chair, for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with all of you. We will have better days when New Yorkers do things more.
Mr. Comptroller, I'm sorry, this is Kevin Hughes-Noboa. We actually have one last question, if you could indulge us. It was from the chat box. All right, I'll make this real fast.
Sure.
Marjorie Clark would like to know what the city is doing to streamline the paperwork to access any of the support for small businesses, like the ones who have less than 10 people.
Nothing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Nothing. I think the city has not enough to work with small businesses. Just because there's a federal program or there's an economic program that would help small business doesn't mean small business owners can access this. That is why I have set up MWBE University for women and minority-owned businesses, small businesses, so that I can get you the information and the help getting through the bureaucracy. So we are doing these webinars. We started today. Record numbers of people came on to hear what we had to say. We're bringing in state, federal, and local officials. We're going to bring, I have the city's first chief diversity officer I appointed years ago. She's now working to get all diverse businesses to the table. And by the way, we have translation, get this, in 12 languages. So I am dead serious to get small businesses, especially women minority-owned businesses, the help they need because they don't have great economic security, meaning they don't got a big bank account. They've been struggling before Corona, and we want to make sure that bureaucracy does not the business never get to access federal, state, and local programs.
Okay, great.
All
And
right.
we had one compliment that I'm going to share with
Say
you
that
from Maggie
slowly.
Flanagan.
Could you
Sorry?
say that slowly again?
We have a compliment from Maggie
Yeah.
Flanagan that she saw
Maggie.
that you're working with the OMB on nonprofit contracts, and to please continue the good work because nonprofits support our communities in so many ways.
Well, let me say thank you for that compliment. One of the things that we're telling the city and the mayor's office is, look, you can't cancel a contract or fail to register a contract in the middle of a spend because you got to reimburse the money that the not-for-profit already put out. And this is not a solution. The job is to keep these not-for-profits running at all costs, not to shut them down, because they're the ones that are least likely to be able to open when we think about what we're going through. And let me just say, I like to look at New York City with the glass half full, but we're going to have to be very careful and thoughtful about how we slowly turn on the economic spigot. We don't want to go back to a social distancing issue, but we also have to think about the communities that have traditionally been hurt when times are tough, because you know what the budget cutters do. They go after the summer jobs, they go after the seniors. It's easy to collapse programs. It's a lot harder to have creativity to keep them open. So I'm going to talk a lot more about this in the city, but I do think that the economy for people we care about really starts with our not-for-profits.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us and answering all the questions. And again, our sympathies to you and your family.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing all of you in person. I promise to come to the community board and stay for hours because I want to get out of the house. I love my kids, but I want to get out of the house. Take care, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
So everyone, we're going on to our next presenter, who is Kate L. Hertz, and she's from Weill Cornell, and she's going to discuss. I'm going to give you presenter mode, Kate.
Okay, great.
And she's going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 on our mental health. And I'm putting our because I'm part of it also. And I'm going to make her a presenter. And I know at the top of your screen, if you want to see who's presenting, you can click on that button and see who's talking. Do you see, is your screen up, Kate? Very good.
Yes.
We can see you. You can click on who's talking and see Kate.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for having me tonight. I am a clinical psychologist and I work at New York Presbyterian Hospital at the Weill Cornell campus. And I'm going to be talking about how we know COVID-19 is affecting everybody's mental health in this really crazy time that we're all going through. I have a brief presentation and then I also welcome questions. So we do have some preliminary data from China about how mental health was affected there so far. It's their outbreak started, as you know, earlier than ours. And in one study of over 1,000 respondents from many, many cities, over half of people rated the psychological impact of the outbreak as moderate or severe, so said this has been incredibly distressing for me. About 16% reported moderate to severe depressive symptoms, meaning they were in a clinically significant major depressive episode, and about a third reported moderate to severe anxiety symptoms. So this is much higher than normal rates of depression and anxiety in the community. And we also saw a small percentage, 8%, who are reporting pretty severe stress. But I'm really focused on the depression and anxiety here because those are significant disorders that require treatment. There are also some groups that we should be thinking about, that, such as healthcare workers, who are at more risk for mental health problems from the coronavirus outbreak. These groups also include people who are at higher risk, like the elderly, people who have lost a loved one, people who maybe young children who have their routines disrupted. So when we look at the mental health of healthcare workers in China, and look at, again, over 1,000 respondents from a number of different hospitals, those numbers go way up for depression. 50% or fully half of the healthcare workers were experiencing symptoms of depression. So this is very serious because depression can negatively impact your job performance as well as obviously your quality of life. And then we also saw that 30% were reporting symptoms of insomnia, meaning their sleep was disrupted. And I'm going to talk about later how important sleep is to really maintaining your mental health, especially in this time. It's one of those basic building blocks of mental health that is so important. And then 71% reported distress from the situation. So maybe not specifically depression or insomnia, but they were distressed, maybe experiencing anxiety or anger or frustration about how everything was going with the coronavirus. Now, we don't have as much data from New York since this has been more recent here, but we do have some. So one thing that we've seen is that we have some hotlines, such as the National Alliance on Mental Health hotline has had an all-time high number of calls in March. And that is of the whole time it's been running. So definitely more people are reaching out to mental health services than would in the past. And the director of community engagement, Dawn Brown, said that of the callers who talked about the coronavirus, more than 20% reported experiencing a high level of anxiety. And I'm sure we can all relate to this. There's a lot of uncertainty that comes with the coronavirus, uncertainty about what's going to happen with my job. Am I going to stay healthy? Is my family going to stay healthy? And so that can all cause a lot of anxiety. We also saw an increased volume of calls, texts, and chats to NYC Well, which is our specific mental health hotline this year versus last year, which the city government is attributing to the city promoting NYC Well for people specifically who are distressed about the coronavirus. And the American Association of Suicidology said that crisis centers nationally are experiencing dramatic increases in calls of people who are considering suicides. This is a very serious mental health epidemic that we're experiencing simultaneously to the coronavirus epidemic. They're certainly related. We also predict, I haven't seen a lot of good data about this yet, but we predict that there will be increases in domestic violence as people are forced to quarantine together, and that's something we're very concerned about. We're also concerned about people who had been using groups like AA to stay sober, who no longer have access to those resources and who may be feeling more anxious or depressed, and so possibly that could make them also more likely to lose their sobriety. So those are two high-risk groups that we're particularly worried about. Now, stress during this outbreak can cause, as we said, a lot of anxiety. So anxiety of my own health, the health of loved ones, grief if you lose a loved one, is perfectly normal to experience grief, low mood or feelings of depression. Loneliness is coming up a lot because we are being told to socially isolate, and that's the best thing we can do for our physical health, but it's very tough on our mental health. You might also experience financial insecurity if you lose your job, which can lead to food insecurity, which both can lead to anxiety and depressive symptoms. We're seeing among my own patients, I'm seeing a lot of difficulty sleeping and difficulty concentrating. And these are things the CDC also says we can expect during this outbreak. A lot of our routines are disrupted. We're not commuting to work every day, for example. And so that can definitely impact our sleep schedule. And in terms of difficulty concentrating, there's a lot competing for our attention right now. If you watch the news, you know what I'm talking about. So that can be very difficult as well. Another high-risk group is the group who already have chronic mental health problems. So we already have a group of people in the city, obviously, like anywhere, who have pre-existing depression or anxiety or other mental health problems, and those can be exacerbated at this time. Many people are coping through increased use of alcohol and drugs, which is problematic for a number of reasons, but one of which is that Alcohol and many drugs are actually depressants themselves. So while you have a temporary increase in mood from them, it then contributes to disruption in sleep, increased depressive symptoms. So we're worried about that as well. And then finally, there's, as we said, increased susceptibility to domestic violence during quarantine. So what do we do about this? Because this is obviously a major problem that we need to pay attention to and address. Some things that you personally can do are check on each other, connect with others, connect with the people you care about, do something nice for someone who is struggling. Look for the good news stories that can give you some ideas about how to do that, such as I've seen lots of stories about people doing drive-by parades for someone whose birthday it is, things like that, which is very heartwarming and nice to see. Limit your news consumption. You really don't need to watch the news all day, every day, and watching it for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning or at night or reading it at those times is going to give you everything you need to know. And as we know, the news right now is very negative, and so if you are engaging in it more than that, it can really bring down your mood and make it hard to concentrate. Some of the most basic things you can do are things that you should be doing all the time to help your mental health. So those are following a routine, making sure that you're sleeping on a normal schedule where you wake up at the same time every day, go to bed around the same time. That's really important, because if you get that sleep, then that's going to help your mood throughout the rest of the day. Exercise regularly. I know exercise has become more difficult because you can't go outside with being around a lot of people. All the gyms are closed, but find ways that we're lucky to have the internet. Find online exercise classes that you can do. Find ways that you can just do some jumping jacks with your kids or something like that. Any way that you can exercise at home is good. And that's also going to help your sleep. Avoid alcohol and drugs and eat healthy, well-balanced meals to the extent that you can. That's also going to help regulate your mood and make sure that your body has what it needs to keep your mood in order. We know that when we're hungry or when our body isn't getting enough nutrition, then we tend to feel more negatively, whether it's angry or anxious or whatever it is. The next one I think is really important, which is to normalize your feelings. This is an incredibly stressful situation for all of us, and any emotional reaction that you're having is normal. Really, anything goes. There's no correct way to emotionally respond to a novel crisis like this, which we haven't seen in our lifetimes. So if you're feeling angry, that's okay. If you're feeling sad, that's okay. If you're feeling anxious, that's okay. It's all normal. And you should be able to reach out for help if you need it, but also know that emotions come and go. They don't tend to last indefinitely. So normalizing that, okay, I'm feeling angry right now, that's okay, and it will pass. I'll feel better at some point today. Helping someone who's struggling is a good way to boost your own mood, as is doing gratitude practice and thinking of the things in your life that you're thankful for. Continue to do activities that you enjoy as much as you can. So maybe you're someone who previously really enjoyed hanging out with friends. Well, have a Zoom party. Maybe you're somebody who liked running races in Central Park. Well, you can still go running outside, and that's important to still do. The next one I find really helpful because we don't have an end date for this yet. This will end at some point, but for now we need to take it one day at a time. And if you get too caught in the future, thinking about the future and all the what ifs and questions that are there, that can really bring you down. So try to bring yourself back to the present moment and practice mindfulness, which just means being in the present moment as much as you can. These are some resources that I think are really helpful. So, and each of these web pages has many other resources on it. So the first is from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's about mental health and coping during COVID-19. It has information for people at higher risk, for parents of young kids, for all of us. So that's really helpful. The next ones are based in New York. So COVID-19 Coping and Emotional Wellbeing from NYC Health. This is a great resource. They have links to, for example, a domestic violence hotline that you can call, a hotline number that you can call, things like that are all in the city. And then there's a whole collection of digital mental health resources that NYC Well has put out that I highly recommend. And NYC Well is a hotline that you can text, you can chat online, you can call. There are a lot of ways to get connected with some counseling and support there. So that's a really great resource as well. And then for those of you who are parents, I know that there are a lot of unique concerns that come with parenting in this time. And New York Presbyterian Hospital, the Youth Anxiety Center, has put together a webinar series about parenting strategies for challenging times. And that's available to watch at any time at the link that I've provided. So I encourage you to check that out if you think that would be helpful. So these are just my references, and I'm going to leave up the resources slide for a minute so that people have it. I'm also happy to share these slides with Renetta so that she can pass them on to all of you if that would be helpful. And I'm happy to take any questions you may have.
All right, everyone. Kevin's going to mute everyone. If you have any questions, please ask Dr. Hurt.
If anybody, you can unmute yourself and ask the question at this point.
Do you have any questions in the chat box, Kev?
I only have some comments.
Okay. And I'll take back the presentation, Dr. Hurt. And okay. I'm gonna let folks just see you then.
Okay.
From Lisa Masulam, board member. She had a comment about that they're only screening if you had proof of having the virus, not if you probably had it. And that there needs to be more screening and testing. Care to respond?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really important, and that's part of the anxiety that we're all feeling is we don't know if we can get tested if we need to. And I think that being anxious about that and worried about that is very normal at this time. And there's not a whole lot that we can do about it personally besides going to the people who are in power and saying we want to be able to be tested. I know that one good thing that's happening at New York Presbyterian is that they are working on making their own tests to really try to up the capacity of tests that they have instead of waiting to get them from somewhere else. So I know that that's a focus that the hospital, that hospital system has. And we also know that because New York Presbyterian is such a big hospital system, they are trying to help other hospitals in the area, for example, by taking overflow patients from other places. And so hopefully we'll be able to help the community at some point. But I know that it's a big source of anxiety that you can't always get tested now. And the best thing that you can really do if you can't get tested is to act as though you do have the virus if you think that you do, and isolate and quarantine yourself so that you're not putting other people at risk.
From Philip Hoppus, former board president, he compliments you saying this was all very excellent info. And Marilyn Bailey also wanted to add that Columbia is also conducting screenings.
Yes, Columbia is part of our New York Presbyterian family, and they're conducting screening and testing. So is Cornell. And I believe we have NYP in Queens as well. So I'm not sure what their testing capacity is, but it's likely that they have some testing that they can do also.
Okay, so I haven't heard anybody from the floor that wants to ask a question, so there might be a technical issue. So I'm going to unmute all on my end. I'm pretty sure everybody's already unmuted on mine end, but just in case, I'm going to unmute, and if you have a question, please feel free to ask.
Dr. Hurt, what about the impact on the health providers that are treating everyone? This is something that they've never seen before.
Yes, there's definitely an impact that we're seeing on health providers, and we've set up at New York Presbyterian an emergency hotline and a liaison from the psychiatry department who's a psychologist or a psychiatrist to every department in the hospital so that doctors and nurses and support staff and transport workers, so everyone who works at the hospital can reach a counselor at pretty much any time or within a few hours. So we're very concerned about that. And what I'm hearing from the doctors is that, you know, there is a lot of anxiety, just like any of us have, because we're all human, right? So something that's unique about this situation is that we're really all in it together. We're all going through it together. And so the same worries that you guys have, they have too. And so we're working really hard to try to support them. And that's very important.
All right, any other questions?
I have a question. One of our Bangladesh community people were calling me. His mother was going to be transported to Elmhurst Hospital, but due to the bad experiences and too much hazard there, he wanted to shift his mother to Presbyterian. Is there any, he could not do it. Is there any restriction for that? Can you please clarify so that I can give him answer?
Yes, that's a good question. Unfortunately, that's not something that I'm knowledgeable about. It would be best to ask the treating physicians at Elmhurst if that's possible.
No, it is only because of the ambulance do not take to the other hospitals except Elmhurst.
I see, I see. So I suppose he could walk into the ER if he has a way to get there at Presbyterian.
Great. Thank you. Great.
Sorry, can I interrupt? You can't just walk into an ER right now. You have to go to a walk-in clinic and be diagnosed and referred, or be taken by ambulance.
Okay, thank you.
No, your doctor can write a script, and if an ambulance is required to take you to the nearest hospital. However, if your doctor calls in, he can then have you taken to the hospital that he has, what do you call it, rights at.
Do you have experience with this? Because I just had a friend.
Yeah, my mother's the on-call administrator for Queens General.
Okay, very good. Because I just have a friend that tried to get into Lenox Hill, and they wouldn't let him in without, unless he came in an ambulance.
You're not supposed to show up at the hospitals, and according to my mom and aunts who are nurses, if you're not really dying and you're okay, you really don't want to go there.
Well, my friend died. So my friend died, and he was trying to get into Lenox Hill, and they wouldn't let him unless he was pre-screened at a walk-in center.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
I went through.
No, but really, then you can't just show up at a hospital.
All right.
No, but I'm saying they have drive-throughs now also. I went through a drive-through to get my tests.
Thank you for that information. That's very helpful.
you.
And I think that this is a good example of how it can be incredibly anxiety provoking at this time. And so I really encourage you all to lean on each other and to reach out to the resources that I've mentioned if it would be helpful to you.
And Stu and others that we can definitely, on the community board side, we're getting a lot of information from some of our representatives, and we can share what we know in regards to testing and where people can go and so on and so forth. But
thank you so much. It's really stressful.
It's very stressful.
Can I say something? I got thrown out. I mean, my computer died. Okay, so I missed this. I'm sorry. But what I said had nothing to do with testing. I meant the testing to see if you could donate plasma. I registered on a few different sites. They all say the same thing. Unless you have proof that you had it, you cannot donate plasma at this time. So I wish they would change that, because the only people that were being tested in where we live were people that were like almost dying or they died. And those people that are recovering right now probably don't have the ability to donate. So people like myself and other people that I know that had it lightly, mildly, are in good shape to donate. And we would love to, but they won't let us because they won't test us. There's something wrong with that.
Gotcha.
Where is she? She left?
No, she's here.
Okay.
Yes, it's very confusing and stressful, I know. I don't know what's going to happen with that either.
It's also social economic. I have a lot of rich friends who live on Manhattan on the Upper East Side, and their doctors have the test, and they're paying $500 and they're getting tested.
Thanks, Marlene. All right. Okay. So we have time for one more question. Anyone else? Thank you so much, Dr. Hurd. You were very informative, and I thank my friend Shirley for hooking us up so you could present today, and you did a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see all of you. Take good care.
Yes, take good care. All right, so now we're going to go into our public hearings, and I'd like our chair, Edmund Rosenbaum, if you can begin.
Yes, I'll begin. We have 4 applicants tonight.
You may have to talk up a little bit, Edmund, because I don't know if everyone can hear you.
Hold on 1 second. Edmund, hold on 1 second. Everyone, please, can you mute your lines, please? Because we're getting a lot of feedback.
Wait, and Kevin, can you please call the first business so we can unmute that line?
Okay.
The first business.
Okay, Rico Taco, are you here?
Yes, we are.
Did you see that person?
Yes, caller 16. Okay. So I'm going to mute everyone except for Renetta, Edmund, and caller 16 right now, okay?
And
Okay, Renetta, you're here. Edmund, give me 1 moment. Okay, and caller 16, I think you're already off mute. So, oh no, you're not. Hold on. Oh, you are.
And do you see Miss Reed?
I think I saw her leave.
No, here she goes. There she goes. Thank you.
She's
Giovanna? Here. I thought that was her right there. I don't know, but go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Edmund.
Okay.
Senor Juan?
This is Rico 3307 and 09 89th Street in Jackson Heights. This is an application for a wine and beer license. So the applicant's here. So just give us an overview of the business.
Señor Juan, ¿estás ahí?
Sí, estamos aquí.
Hola. Okay, perfecto. I'll speak on behalf of Mr. Juan Delgado. He's on the call. And Que Rico Taco has been on 89th Street for quite some years, actually, since 2009. It was previously owned by one of his friends, which was a licensed premise. And then there was his friend sold it to his daughter, and his daughter ran the business for several years. There was an application approval on this premise in 2014, and unfortunately, the expediter that was handling this case could not obtain a certificate of occupancy for the New York State Liquor Authority, so they were unfortunately they never picked up their license, and they've been operating since then without a license. We were able to obtain a CO recently through a FOIA request from that previous application that was approved, and Que Rico Taco is a delicious Mexican family restaurant, very low key. They do a lot of takeout food, and it's very authentic and delicious, and it's a great family working behind the scenes.
Okay. Are there any questions?
We have to unmute everyone, Kev.
I just did.
Does everyone have any questions? Board members, you should have had your report in your packet.
We also submitted the sign stipulations that the community board requested, which was the hours of operation are 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. They will stop serving beer and wine by 11 p.m. and they will be serving the full menu at all hours of operation as well.
Correct, and we received that. So again, any questions before we move on?
You said, this is a board member, Mukit. You said that you ran for a couple of years without license. Is it correct?
This premise has been, the restaurant's been there for many years without a liquor license, correct?
Any other questions? Okay. We'll take it up in executive session. So we'll move on to the second applicant.
Should I stay on the line?
Yeah, Edmund, you can answer that question.
Well, she could just, I guess, just do it herself until we get to the vote.
Okay.
Okay, second applicant is Mr. Cangrejo, New York Corp. They unmuted or no?
I'm looking for them.
Yeah, they're there.
They're there.
We
He's
still have
on.
a few members who are not muted.
Yeah, I know. Please, callers, members, residents, please mute your lines. If you're on the web, on the bottom right, the bottom left side, there is a button that says mic. If it is green and you are not talking, your mic is on. We can hear every bit of feedback from your side. If you're a caller, please mute your line on your handheld device. All right, now the applicant is here, Mr.
Yeah, I'm gonna unmute
Cangrejo.
them. Yes, he has to unmute his line.
Yeah, Mr. Cangrejo, if you're there, please unmute your line.
Let me look for them down here.
I saw them before.
Yeah, he unmuted his line.
Yep.
Yes.
And Edmund, you can look at view and see who's talking if you can't see them. Okay, go
I
ahead.
have it.
You see
Okay,
them?
so this application is Mr. Cangrejo for New York Corp. 7909. Roosevelt Avenue, Jackson Heights, applicant for full liquor license. Let's see. Are we going to any translation?
Yes,
You want
Fasto.
translation, right?
Unmute Fasto. Evan, unmute Fasto.
He has to unmute himself.
Unmute yourself, Fasto. Okay, good. Okay, so talk to Mr. Cangrejo so you'll know. He has to describe his business.
Ok. Buenas noches, Mr. Fausto Rodríguez. Yo soy un miembro Community Board número 3. Deseamos saber el propósito por que usted quiere su licencia de licor.
Okay, I'm going to try to explain you if you have any question because you cannot understand me very well. Please let me know.
No, you speak well. You speak well.
You speak well, yes.
Okay, I'm trying. We are applying because our restaurant, that is Mr. Cangrejo, and right now we are blessed. We are blessed. We have full the restaurant on weekend, and so a lot of people want to get some celebration inside. They ask for celebration, and the first thing they ask us is some drinks, some cocktail, the most popular cocktail, like margarita, mojito. For us, it's sangria. That's why. Basically, it's for that.
Okay. Just tell us a little bit about what you've been doing over the past year, because you've had wine and beer, and what makes your restaurant different from everyone else?
Nosotros sabemos que usted está operando por los últimos años con vino y cerveza. ¿Qué lo hace a usted diferente?
Okay. We think we are very different here. We are very different here because it's not our food, it's our culture, is our style. we are Colombian food, but our restaurant is specialized in seafood, Pacific Coast food. It's the only one in New York. People have expressed that they like it very much, and the drink, the cocktail they ask for us, the most popular, always have liquor. It's for that what we are. Yeah,
Okay.
we are different for that. We are different for our kind, for our style, because we play the music according with our culture, and we are giving to our community our culture too.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any questions?
So everyone is unmuted right now unless you have to, does anyone have any questions? Okay, admin, move on.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yes, Joyce.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, Joyce.
Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your
Oh,
question.
my question is about fire exit. You have a capacity of 45 people there. And also, have you obeyed the 500-foot rule as well? Are you able to hear me?
There's no 500-foot rule for funerary.
Yeah.
This is
There
only
is
for,
on
this
this.
is only for the, between the chair, Fasto, and the business owner right now, okay?
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I just
What about
thought I would.
what about the fire exits?
All right.
Can you pose the question for me?
I am not clear about the fire exits. What is the question?
She wants to know if there's a secondary egress, second fire exit.
Mr. Cangrejo, queremos saber si su restaurante tiene una salida de emergencia alternativa.
I'm not understanding his answer.
He didn't answer yet, Joyce. You have to
Oh,
wait.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry, Fasto.
We think yes, because our restaurant is small. It's pretty small. They are 10 tables, and the basement have the exit too. And all the front is a window. It's a big window that we bend. Sorry, it's a big door that we bend. The window is the same wall in the front, and our restaurant is pretty small.
Ok, entonces no tiene ningún tipo de salida adicional. So you guys don't have any additional egress exits. Mr. Cangrejo.
It said it's a secondary to the basement.
I don't get it.
Well, the thing is that the front part, can you hear me now? Yeah. So the
All
thing
right,
is that the
Edmund.
front part,
What is his answer about the fire exit?
yeah,
The son is answering again now.
Usted tiene, I'm going to repeat the question. Mr. Cangrejo, ¿usted tiene una salida de escape de emergencia?
No.
Okay, okay. So he doesn't have any fire exits.
Well, see, my question came up because being that the place is so small and you have 45 people in there, if something happens, there has to be a way for them to get out besides telling me about a big window.
If it's less than 75 feet deep, he doesn't need 2 exits.
Excuse me.
Sorry, the thing is that the window.
Brennick.
It's not really a window, but it's not.
Edmund, can you please?
Yes, I was about to key in on that point.
The thing is that it's actually a big door. It's not
Actually
really
can't hear him.
a big door. So the whole front is able to be at an exit. And the rest is very small, so the whole
No se escucha bien. No se escucha bien, señor Cangrejo.
Who is asking this question?
Excuse me.
I
His son
asked
is
the question, but
his son
Who are
can't
you?
hear him. Fausto, can you please ask the son to speak up and repeat what he said?
Señor Cangrejo, por favor,
His
repita
son
lo que
was speaking.
escuchó.
Okay. The thing is that the whole front is a big door. So there is enough space for the whole restaurant to be able to get out of the restaurant quickly because the whole front is a big door.
Also, the back of our restaurant is part of the next business. You got what I mean? The discotheque close to us is like a L, and the back of us is part of the discotheque too. We don't have more space.
Okay. So let me
All
give
right.
you the gist of that.
yeah, please do.
Since the occupancy is 45, the secondary egress is not a requirement.
Thank you.
Okay.
Really? Okay.
Again, let me just repeat. The chair has the floor. And
And there
it's
was a
between the
second
chair, the
question from
business
Joyce?
owner, and who's asking the questions.
Yeah,
No
the chair
additional
should stop asking the
commentary.
questions.
Yes, but I please will ask you, sir, until it's your turn to speak, then you will be addressed, okay?
Thank you. It's
All
my
right, go
ninth time presenting, so I think I've got the hang of this.
That's okay. All right, go ahead, Edmund.
Renetta, I have a question.
All right, David, go ahead.
Hey, David.
Well, I see actually why you wasting time talking about the if the restaurant has got an exit, the ingress and egress. Edmund's supposed to know and answer the question because he has the plans. And if Edward would see that they have not egress, they would not even put it on the list. We would not waste the time. So
There's no
that
such thing
question
as
should
wasting
be
time.
addressed by Edmund. And
Okay.
then
That's
that
not
was
so,
it.
David. The place is small. That means it's tight up in there. 45 people and it's small.
Look at the
Edmund
plans.
knows
Look at the
well.
plans. Look at the approvals.
Yeah, that's it.
Swim two birds, you are not going until later on, so please, okay? Go ahead, Edmund.
You know, I've been here for 4 years, so another 5 minutes isn't going to kill me.
All right, that's fine.
Way too much interruption here. We need to get through this.
Kevin, please.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you need?
We only want in regards to speaking. Go ahead, Edmund.
I can't help it if people unmute themselves.
All right.
Are there any other questions?
What is the certificate of occupancy on Mr. Quintero's application, the C of O?
We need to check that. 1 second.
All right.
But it's below 74. It's in a regular lot, regular space, because as he mentioned, there's an L shape, and the total on that L shape is one plus his place is 199. Checking the CO right now. Okay, Mr. Congrejo. I'm trying to find it. 1 second. It's part of an altered building that has the address bearing 7905 Roosevelt Avenue. And I believe it has a combined occupancy. Just trying to see if there's a distinction between the alteration of the property. Because I do know the alteration was approved when the building was split. It's coming up right now.
All right, Edmund, if it's gonna be some time to find it, then maybe we'll move on.
The whole thing's $2.99, my mistake.
All right, Edmund. Let's just move on.
Delineation between the entire property being split.
Okay.
But we do know that it's permissible because no other questions, so we'll move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Edmund?
Oh, there goes Miss Reed.
Edmund?
Go ahead.
Okay, on Roosevelt Avenue, some of the locations do not have or are not required to have a second means of egress. When the alterations application was approved, the Department of Buildings granted the approval. So it may not have a secondary means of egress. We can further research it at a later date. But I don't believe that a secondary means of egress is an issue for this particular application.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Miss Reed. All right, Edmund. Your connection is a little.
505 Boulevard in Corona. Here.
Casa Rubio.
Yes. Reed. Yes.
Casa Rubio.
Yes.
Is that you talking or is that them talking?
I thought I was fourth on the agenda.
Casa Rubio. If you look down the list, do you see?
I don't
see them
see him
there?
in the list. I don't
What
see him
was
in the list, but there's a lot of people that are listed as just callers, so I don't know.
What is the person's name, Edmund? Huh? Edmund.
Casa Rubio, are you here?
What's the business owner's
A
name?
quick look through this. I saw him before.
Yeah, look through it and see if you see him.
Are you asking who just joined? It was me, Arthur.
Hey, Arthur. No, we're looking for the business owner.
I think the representative's last name was Romero.
Mr. Romero.
I'm not seeing a Mr. Romero in the list.
Can we call them very quickly? Because they were on the line, right? Because we called out each one of the business owners' names, and I remember each one of them did respond. Correct, Edmund? All right, so do you want to move on to the next person and then we'll circle back? If Clara's on the line, if someone can call them. Casa Rubio.
I've just sent to Clara a text asking her to call Cafe Rubio.
Thank
But maybe
you.
we should we should move on to the next applicant.
Yes,
Well,
Swim Two Birds is ready to go, Edmund. Go ahead, Edmund.
I'm here.
Edmund says his signal is dropping.
Let him dial in. Can you dial in, Edmund, please?
Want me to just introduce it, Renetta?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the fourth applicant on your list is Swim Two Birds LLC, located at 7605 37th Avenue in Jackson Heights. This is for a full liquor license, and the owner is here. Would you like to share some words about your business?
Well, this is our 9th time presenting. We'd already actually been approved for a liquor license once before, but horrible things with our landlord and his previous violations on his other properties have made us, well, apparently we have to present again. So there we go. This is our 9th time here, and we've got $1 million into this business, and there we go. And we need a liquor license.
All right, Edmund is going to dial in. Does anyone have any questions?
Could you just mute some of the people, because I'm hearing a lot of feedback. I think it's Joyce's actually.
I can mute people and then they unmute themselves.
There goes Edmund. Edmund is back in again. So Edmund, go ahead. Edmund?
Oh, I think I got the one that was giving a lot of feedback.
Okay, good. Edmund? All right, so Edmund is slowly coming up. Does anyone have any questions? If you could type your questions in the chat.
Or I can unmute the floor. So the floor is unmuted. If you have any questions, please address them now.
can I just ask the applicant to describe his operation, what kind of a establishment it's going to be, so that the community can get a
Do you have
general
the board
sense?
package? I'm sorry, are you on the board?
Yes,
That's Ms. Reed,
our
the district manager. Yes.
Yes. Do you not have the package? Have you? Were you not there when we presented the last time?
Excuse me. A lot of the people that are on the line were not there. So can you please describe your business? Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope you understand my anxiety and my mood, because we're in for $1 million in this place. We've already been approved once, and now we're going through the whole process again. And we had to present 7 times before our first approval. And I'm very frustrated, and I'm very nervous about losing $1 million. So here we go. My name is Stuart Wadden. I'm a chef. I was a chef. I'm a Canadian, and I own a business in Canada called Swim Two Birds, and we own a fishing lodge on a salmon river. And then there we go. What else can I say? I did all my training in France, and then I came to the United States, and I was a chef at the Canadian ambassador, the Canadian ambassador, Danish ambassador, Danish consul general, New Zealand ambassador, Slovak Republic, and Ireland. I had a company where we had 15 full-time employees, and we did all the official functions for these countries. I served the G8, I served the G7, I cooked for presidents and prime ministers and heads of states, Queen Noor of Jordan, Princess Diana, blah, blah, blah. There we go. And then I had a chance to open something in our neighborhood, a small kind of thing that I thought I was going to lead into my retirement, which is Swim Two Birds, a 43-seat restaurant in Jackson Heights, and our concept is fine casual. And I don't know, it's an elegant little restaurant in Jackson Heights, and I think it needs it. And I think, the editor of New Yorker magazine lives in our neighborhood, and I know them. And anyway, I know a lot of people in our neighborhood that's going to come to our restaurant, and I thought this would be a smooth transition into retirement. Little did I know the hell that I was in for the last 4 years. Our landlord, who is Tongs Management, has an enormous number, or had an enormous number of outstanding violations on his multiple properties in our neighborhood. And initially, the city granted us a building permit, and of course, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building out And then the new year
Okay.
came and we had to renew our permit, and the city said no because my landlord is a slumlord. And so
All right,
this
then.
time, we've had $1 million tied up for 4 years, and I've hit my limit.
All right. Thank
There
you
we go.
so
So I
much.
don't know what else you want to know.
That's fine. Thank you so much. I think we're going to take this
But we
up in
didn't hear
executive
the open hours. I'm sorry, Ms.
The,
English.
the
We
open
didn't hear
hours
the
are listed on the bloody sheet you're looking at, from 11:30 till 2.
Sir?
And then we
This
signed
is
an affidavit
sir?
saying that we will. We
Sir,
signed an
excuse
affidavit
me.
saying that we will
Wait,
not
wait,
serve
wait,
liquor.
wait. Hello? Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Hello, yeah.
Yes.
Hi, hello.
The person, wait, the person that asked the question is a member of the community that is not a board member, that does not have that information. She would
Oh, they're
like
not.
to know.
The board has public meetings and then they don't publish the information.
No. You hear me now? What are
Yes,
the
I can hear
hours
you.
of your restaurant? Can you please
From
provide
11.
that information to her?
The board has set my hours at 11:30 a.m. till 2 a.m.
Okay. All righty then.
And I have agreed to those hours.
Thank you so much. All right. So now we'll be going into executive session. All right.
I hope you understand.
You have one more question?
I've been
Renetta?
horrible today.
Yes, Ms. Reed?
Yes, I believe that applicant number 3 is back. He stepped away for a minute, so I believe he's back now.
Yeah.
Okay, am I done? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I hope you understand my frustration with this whole process.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
$1 million on the line, and I've been put through the ringer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Councilor
yeah.
Rubio? Edmund, are you
yeah.
back on?
Edward Romero is the proprietor. He is on the line.
All right. Edmund, are you
Hello.
back on? All right. So, Kevin, can you just give the address of the business?
Of course. This is motion number 3 on your schedule. Casa Rubio Restaurant, Inc., located at 9805 Northern Boulevard, Corona. This is a renewal for a full liquor license. Edward Romero, you are on. Please tell the board and the residents in attendance a little bit about your business, please.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Edward. I'm speaking on behalf of my father, Juan Romero of Cafe Rubio. We are a family-owned restaurant specializing in Latin food. We've been operating for 19 years, and proud to say that we have established a restaurant in this community to everyone in our community, and especially for people outside of our community. And we hope to continue our services and duty for our community. And I'm glad that we're able to be home and safe.
All right. Edmund is back on. Edmund?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Casa Rubio is there. I don't know if you want to ask the board
Okay.
members if they have any questions.
Hey, board members, do you have any questions?
Or community. Yeah.
The lines are open.
No one? No
Don't think there are
questions
any
at all?
questions.
Okay. There's a question? Okay.
Any questions? I think Edmund just dropped again.
No, I'm here.
All right. Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm trying to reconnect online at the same time.
Okay, gotcha.
This is 786.
Are there no questions?
No questions. All right,
So
Kevin,
moving
I'm
on
gonna.
Okay.
We can move on
Okay.
to number 4.
We already did number 4, Edmund.
We already did number 4, Kevin. We already did number 4, Edmund.
Okay, so then everything we take up in executive session.
All right, Kev, I'm gonna give you the screen. Everyone, we're gonna open up our executive session in our normal manner.
Okay, give me 1 sec.
Swim 2 birds.
All right, everyone. I pledge of allegiance. Does everyone see the flag?
Yes.
All right, let's go. I pledge of allegiance to
Allegiance
the
to the
flag
flag of the United States of America
America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
under
liberty and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you, everyone. I'll take the screen back, Kev. Very good. So everyone, I call for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second it.
Second.
Was that Bill Meehan?
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone hear me now? Just checking.
Yes, so you're up. Motions by committee. Does everyone have their report? It's in your folder.
Yes.
Yes.
So please refer to that, and it has all the information on there. So go ahead, Edmund.
First motion, Rico Taco Corp., 3307 and 09, 89th Street in Jackson Heights. This is an application for a wine and beer license. Motion by committee is the committee recommends approval of an application for an on-premises wine and beer license for this applicant, provided a stipulation has been signed stating that the hours of operation will be 12 noon to 12 midnight daily. There will be food service at all times, and alcohol service will end 1 hour prior to closing on a daily basis. We did receive the stipulation. Have a second.
Second.
Kevin? Any
Yeah, that was
discussion?
Kevin. Okay.
No discussion?
This is motion. All right, okay, we ready?
We're ready. Call the
Any
question.
questions? Okay. I'm gonna, okay, if you are not a board member, please mute your line. All right, I need to be able to hear all the board members voting. If you are a board member and you have feedback, like a TV playing in the background or somebody talking, please mute your line until your name is coming up in the alphabetical order. You should know where your name lies. Okay? Here we go. This is for motion number 1. Rico Taco Corp., located at 3307/09 89th Street, Jackson Heights. This is for a wine and beer license. The committee recommends approval. So a yes vote is a yes. Ann Brown.
Yes.
Alba Buendia.
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury.
No.
Heiko. Okay. Shiv Das. Sony Davis Roberts. Vivian Dock. Vivian, are you still there? Okay. Margaret Dossier. Renetta English.
Yes.
Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi, are you still there? Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. Was that your vote? Yes?
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Okay, great. Pastor
Yes.
Peter Haran. Pastor Peter Haran? Pastor, are you there? If you're there, I cannot hear you. I need your vote. Okay, Lorinda Hooks.
Yes.
Mr. Hollader?
No.
All right, Kevin Hughes Naboa, I am a yes. Joyce Julian. Joyce?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes.
I can hear you. Your vote is a yes?
Yes.
Nabaraj KC.
Yes.
Edward Kiernan.
Yes.
Susan Kohanek.
Yes.
Marta Leberton.
No.
Okay, some major feedback. Carlos Andre Lopez. Bill Meehan.
Yes.
Okay, if you've already voted, please put your line on mute. Thank you. Lisa Masulam.
Yes.
Richard Mink. Ralph Moreno. Richard Mullings. Richard, are you here? Laverne Nimmons.
Yes.
What is your vote, Laverne?
Yes.
Veronica Ing.
Yes.
Nuala O'Doherty. Philip Pappas.
Yes.
Sorry, give me 1 second. All right, Esteban Peralta. Ladisa Perez. Dorothy Phelan.
Yes.
Megan Rockwell.
Yes.
Oscar Rodriguez.
Yes.
Jairo Rodriguez. Leoncio Romero. Tammy Rose. Evan Rosenbaum.
Yes.
David Rosero.
Yes.
Bob Sangsalaka. Jimmy Smith. Marlene Tapper.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Frank Taylor. Arthur Tyler.
Yes.
Chanel Thomas Henry.
Yes.
Pat Thorpe. Hamlet Wallace.
Yes.
Troy Washington Simon.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have 25 yeses, 3 nos. The yeses have it.
Okay.
Okay.
Edmund?
The second applicant is Mr. Congrejo, owning 7909 Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights. Application for a full liquor license. Motion by committee. Very long. Yes, we have received the stipulation. Committee recommends approval of an application for an on-premises full liquor license for this applicant, provided the stipulation has been signed stating that the hours of operation will be 10 to 10 Monday through Thursday and 10 to 12 well, this was wrong. Friday through Sunday is what it's supposed to say, and that's what the stipulation says. There will be food service at all times. Alcohol service will end 1 hour prior to closing on a daily basis. And public convenience has been proven in terms of the 500-foot rule by the applicant because being a restaurant focused on Colombian seafood. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
I'm sorry, who second?
Fausto.
Fausto Rodriguez.
Fausto Rodriguez. Okay.
Any discussion? I'll do the discussion. The last part of that motion regards the 500-foot rule. The 500-foot rule is a loose interpretation by the state liquor authority to prevent oversaturation. In order for an applicant to forego the 500-foot rule, they'll be subject to a hearing by the state liquor authority, and they'll have to prove what their individual public convenience is to their area. And we have found in the motion and in interpretation that the restaurant is unique. Therefore, they have met the public convenience for the area. That's all I have to say. Does anyone else have any discussion?
No, guess not.
Okay. Call the question.
Okay, motion number 2, Mr. Congrejo, New York Corp., located at 4909 Roosevelt Avenue, Jackson Heights. This is for a full liquor license. The committee recommends approval. So a yes vote is a yes. Just give me 1 moment. Okay, Ann Brown.
Yes.
Elba Buendia.
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury.
No. No.
Vivian Dock.
Yes.
Renetta English.
Yes.
Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Pastor Peter
Yes.
Haran. Pastor Peter Haran? Lorinda Hooks.
Yes.
Mr. Hollader.
No.
Kevin Hughes Naboa, I am a yes. Joyce Julian.
Yes.
Nabaraj Casey.
Yes.
Edward Kiernan.
Yes.
Please, if you've already voted, please put your phone on mute or your system on mute. If you are not a board member, you must be on mute during this time, please. I'm getting a lot of feedback and it's hard for me to hear the votes. Somebody is listening to piano playing in the background. It sounds lovely, but it's interfering with the vote, please. Can you mute your line? Stephen Kohenik.
Yes.
Marta Lebreton.
No.
Bill Meehan.
Yes.
Lisa Masulam.
Yes.
I see.
Richard Mullings. Laverne Nimmons.
Yes.
Laverne, what is your vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Veronica Ing.
Yes.
Philip Pappas.
Yes.
Dorothy Phelan.
Yes.
Megan Rockwell.
Yes.
Foster Rodriguez.
Yes.
Edmund Rosenbaum.
Yes.
David Rosero.
Yes.
David. Thank you.
Yes.
Marlene Tapper.
Yes.
Arthur Tyler.
Yes.
Chanel Thomas Henry.
Yes.
Hamlet Wallace.
Yes.
Toy Washington Simon.
Yes.
Is there anyone that I did not call? Okay, we have 25 yeses and 3 nos. The yeses have it.
Okay, third applicant is Casa Rubio Restaurant Incorporated, 9805 Northern Boulevard in Corona. This is a renewal of a full liquor license. Also, we received the stipulation. It's rather lengthy. Let me read the motion. Committee recommends approval of a renewal application for an on-premises full liquor license for the applicant, provided a stipulation has been signed stating that the hours will be 12 to 2 Monday and Tuesday, 12 to 3 Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, 12 to 4 Friday and Saturday. 1 security guard from 10 to 3 on Wednesday and Thursdays, 2 guards on Friday and Saturday from 10 to 4, and 2 guards from 10 to 3 on Sundays. Food service at all times. Alcohol service will end 1 hour prior to closing on a daily basis. The applicant will file an alteration of premise application and resolve issues related to the noise at the location. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Second.
Any discussion?
Okay, was that Bill?
Yes.
That was Bill.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any discussion? Okay, we can call the question, Kevin.
All right, this is motion number 3. Casa Rubio Restaurant, Inc., located at 9805 Northern Boulevard, Corona, renewal for a full liquor license. The committee recommends approval, so a yes vote is a yes. Ann Brown.
Yes.
Elba Buendia.
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury.
Yes. Yes.
Vivian Dock. Vivian. Renetta English.
Yes.
Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Pastor Peter Haran.
I say yes.
I got you, Mr. Gideon. Pastor Peter Haran.
Yes.
Okay. Lorinda Hooks.
Yes.
Mr. Hollader.
No.
Kevin Hughes Naboa, I am a yes. Joyce Julian.
Yes.
Nabaraj KC.
Yes.
Edward Kiernan.
Yes.
Stephen Kohanek.
Yes.
Marta Lebreton.
No.
Bill Meehan,
Yes.
Lisa Masulam.
Yes.
Okay, Richard Mullings. Laverne Nimmons.
Yes.
What was your vote?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Veronica Ing.
Yes.
Thank you. Philip Pappas.
No.
Dorothy Phelan. Dorothy? You have to unmute, Dorothy. Unmute.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, gotcha. Megan Rockwell. Megan Rockwell? Megan? Okay, no. All right. Fausto Rodriguez.
Yes.
Edmund Rosenbaum.
No.
David Rosero.
Yes.
Marlene Tapper.
Yes.
Arthur Tyler.
Yes.
Janelle Thomas Henry.
Yes.
Hamlet Wallace.
Yes.
Toy Washington Simon.
No.
All right. So 23 yeses, 5 noes. The yeses have it.
Okay. Fourth and final applicant, Ocean Birds LLC, 7605 37th Avenue, Jackson Heights. Application for a full liquor license. Motion by committee recommends approval of an application, an off-premises full liquor license for this applicant, provided a stipulation is signed stating the hours of operation will be 11:30 a.m. to 2 a.m. daily, and alcohol service will end 1 hour prior to closing on a daily basis. It has been received. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
All right.
Any discussion?
We're ready to.
One second.
Yes, I have
One
something to
second.
say. This
One
is Fausto.
second.
Hold on.
1 second. I just want to confirm who seconded the motion.
Bill Meehan.
Thank you.
Fausto had a discussion?
Yes. No, just to clarify that the community board does not set up a schedule for any business. We suggest the schedules, okay? And either the owners agree or don't. This is what I wanted to clarify.
And can you reiterate that, please, Chair?
Yes, we go with what the applicant requests, and then we present what are suggestions. Suggestions do not have to be followed. We try to come to a mutual agreement, which it happens almost all the time. Here we go. Mutual agreement.
And can you explain also in regards to alcohol service, an hour before?
I can't hear this. More than one person talking.
The fact an hour before closing, stopping of the alcohol service?
We have been asking for the hour last call for the past several years from all businesses.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes, because that was not a true statement that was made.
Okay. We can call the question, I believe, Kevin.
Okay. This is for motion number 4, Swim Two Birds LLC, 7605 37th Avenue, Jackson Heights, a full liquor license. The committee recommends approval. So a yes vote is a yes. Ann Brown.
Yes.
Alba Buendia.
Yes.
Mr. Chowdhury.
No.
Vivian Dock. Renetta English.
Yes.
Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gideon. Mr. Gideon?
Yes.
Pastor Peter Haran.
Yes. Yes.
I got you, Mr. Gideon. I got you. Pastor Peter Haran.
No.
Lorinda Hooks,
Yes.
Mr. Hollider,
No.
Kevin Hughes Noboa, I am a yes. Joyce Julian,
No.
Nabaraj KC,
No.
Edward Kiernan,
Yes.
Stephen Kohenik,
Yes.
Marta Lebreton,
No.
Bill Meehan,
Yes.
Lisa Masulam,
Yes.
Richard Mullings, Laverne Nimmons,
Yes.
Veronica Ing,
Yes.
Philip Hoppus,
No.
Dorothy Phelan,
Yes.
Megan Rockwell. Megan? Okay. Foster Rodriguez,
Yes.
Evan Rosenbaum,
No.
David Rosero. David? David, are you still with us? Okay. Marlene Tapper,
Yes.
Arthur Tyler,
Yes.
Arthur? Okay. Chanel Thomas Henry,
Yes.
Hamlet Wallace,
Yes.
Toy Washington Simon.
No.
All right, 18 yeses, 9 nos. The yeses have it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, everyone. And who was that just said? Who was that just spoke?
Me, thanking everyone.
Oh, thank you, Edmund. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
A very exciting meeting, right? So
Yes.
I'd like to
Yeah.
welcome everyone again to our Queens Community Board number 3, and my view from the chair is there. I'm going to make a few updates in it. I'm looking at it. And basically I say, whenever I travel, everyone and now a lot of my friends, when they call me to wonder how am I doing, they said, Renetta, where do you live? I said, I live in the center of a national pandemic that has impacted our wonderful community of East Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, and North Corona. I have personally lost family members and friends to COVID-19, and I know many of you have too. And we also know many that have recovered, but the precious lives that we have lost has been very painful. So staying in our homes to protect ourselves, wearing our gloves, wearing our masks, standing 6 feet away from each other to try to flatten this curve has definitely been an experience for me personally, and I know a lot of you. I'd like to thank all of our essential workers who's on the front lines. Many of us are related to them, doctors, our nurses, our first responders, those that are working in emergency services, our transit workers, those that are cleaning our buildings, in the grocery stores, the pharmacy workers, all of those that are essential workers that have to go to work every day. I'm grateful that I can stay home and work from home, but it's not easy. So, and definitely I must thank all of our teachers who are our board members that had to learn how to work online, you know, and especially our students that have to deal with not seeing their friends and using a new mode of education. But I'd like to thank all of you board members for really being dedicated members, answering the various emails, participating in our meetings, participating even in our committee meetings. So you've really adapted to our video conferencing, our new method. I know there's some hiccups, but we will get through it. And please, please, please continue to keep yourself safe. I'd like to thank everyone that participated in our April 1st Census Day. Everyone, our numbers are quite low in our area. Please encourage all of those in our area to fill out the census. It can be done online. As you know, around this time, a lot of the census takers are supposed to go out to the homes of folks that didn't respond, but they can't because we're all in our homes. So please encourage everyone. We had a wonderful event. We had a DJ, we did text out the count, we sent out over 3,000 messages to folks to remind them to fill out the census. And in my view from the chair, there is a link where it shows you the census map and lets you see the response rate. So please, please, please encourage those to fill out the census. As I have in my view from the chair, you will see a link where you can see information related to COVID testing, a testing online assessment from the state. So you can encourage folks to go to that link, and hopefully that will help them in regards to finding where they can go get a test. Please, if you're not feeling well, please get yourself checked. All right. Again, I did send out an email to remind everyone that the Queensborough President, Sharon Lee, she will be making appointments with terms to begin on May 31st. So a lot of you that have decided to roll off the board, I know that you're still participating and we appreciate you. You still have 60 extra days on the board. So you will be hearing about appointments at the end of May. All right. I like to recognize Autism Awareness Month. Happy Passover. I know Arthur joined the line, and we have Lisa, and happy Easter to everyone. I know Easter was celebrated a little differently this year. Happy Earth Day, and Ramadan is beginning soon. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your participation. And I'll turn it over. Do you have any questions for me? All right, so I'll turn it over to our district manager. Miss Reed? Is she on there?
Yeah, she is. I might have to unmute her. Hold on one second. I just have to find her. Where'd she go? I think she disappeared. I'm going to unmute everyone just so if she can pipe in if she's here.
Here.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, this is Giovanna Reed. Kevin, did you find me?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Giovanna Reed. First, I'd like to thank you very much for your calls, hard condolences for the passing of my brother. I appreciate every single one of you and appreciate your support. I also would like to give my condolences to Toy Washington. Recently, she also had a loss in her family as well. I want to let you know that the community board office is still operating. We are still responding to calls. While we are operating remotely, we are still up and running. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. In addition to that, we are continuing to conduct our committee meetings, as you know. So we will operate a little differently, but we are still effective and moving. During the day, I participate in a number of teleconferencing calls, updates from the Department of Health, the mayor's office, and other agencies. And I have been advocating to get additional testing sites for our district. As you all know, Community Board 3 was very impacted by this crisis. So we continue to advocate for additional assistance. Kindly note that street closing permits for the month of May have been canceled by the mayor's office, and I'll keep you updated on any further changes. Also, we are still actively involved. There were some requests for locations to slow down traffic. With my next report, I will give you those locations. We did get a couple of approvals, one which will impact 93rd Street. So I will keep you posted on that. Again, thank you very much. And this is the other thing that I want to say. If you listen to all the reports on television, it says, do not go to the hospitals. But I'm going to say this to you. If you are not feeling well, call 911, call an ambulance, go to the hospital. Unfortunately, there are residents in our community who did not call. And unfortunately, when they did seek assistance, it was too late. But if you are not feeling well, please go to the hospital. Please call 911. It's very, very important. And again, I thank you so much for your support. And I am available to provide any assistance that's needed. Thank you.
And yes, and as Ms. Reed said, we have been on a number of calls and we have been advocating for our area because Elmhurst Hospital should not be an option for our neighborhood to go to as a testing site only.
Or the only option.
Only
it should not
option.
be the only. It should not be the
Absolutely.
only option.
Can I say add something to what you just said? There is on Northern Boulevard and 80th Street. They do have a tent in the back where they test.
Where?
It's the walk-in place. I forgot the name of it. It's on Northern, the corner of, you know where Queensboro Restaurant is? It's right next door or 2 doors away.
Excellent, excellent.
And there's a tent in the back for COVID testing. It says a big sign. So, yeah, I mean, that's recent, very recent.
We have to check that out to know exactly what that's about.
Thank you.
Excuse me. This is Mukit. Is it on the Northern Boulevard and 80th Street, correct?
Yes, on the south side of 80th Street.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way, being that our area, as everyone knows, is the center of the pandemic,
absolutely,
we're having disproportionate amounts of deaths. The morgue, not the morgue, I forgot the name. The people that come pick up dead bodies, I can't remember the name right now.
Okay, Marlene. Yes.
The medical examiner.
The medical examiner. My apologies.
It's actually the coroner's office.
Okay, the coroner's office. Correct.
Okay.
Right. One of the things that I'm noticing in the community, and other people have called me, they're taking up to 2 days to come get dead bodies. So excuse me, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Marlene, this situation is very unusual. They are overtaxed. They're doing the best that they can, unfortunately.
They're not doing that in every neighborhood.
I'm going to have to disagree. Right. I'm going to have to disagree with you. It is in every neighborhood. I had a similar experience. So, but we are advocating, we're in speaking with the agencies, which include the mayor's office and the medical examiner's office. We are advocating for them to get assistance. But that is that's what's happening all over the city.
Okay, Mr. Chowdhury.
Can I ask you?
2 days seems to be a long time, though, Marlene. It's a number of hours I've heard, but 2 days it seems.
No, it was 2.5 actual days that the precinct, a police car has to stay there till the coroner comes to get the body. So they're not allowed to leave. So somebody comes and replaces them if they go for lunch or whatever. And it was 2.5 actual days. And the family did not want to be in the house with the body. And I know other families that have gone through that in the area.
Okay. Can you just, if you
Renata,
email that
can I
information?
ask you?
I heard 2 days also.
What's from my house?
What is it about our neighborhood? Do we know?
I don't know if it's the volume.
People doing that causes this.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the volume that we have. I'm looking at another article. They were saying maybe things that are going on the train system. I'd
also, excuse me, this is Philip speaking. I also know that there were some articles that mentioned that a lot of people who live in our area actually work probably in Manhattan, but in certain services where they would have come into contact with a lot of people. I don't have any more details than that, but I mean, certainly there's got to be a lot of different reasons that are playing into this, but I know like many people do work in Manhattan, so just using mass transit even, and we are a very densely populated area, so.
And
but
if
yeah,
you live in a home with a lot of people, it's going
Yeah.
from person to person, you understand? So
Absolutely.
it's
And we
many
have a lot of boarding houses near my house where 12 men sleep for one shift. 12 men sleep for one shift, and then another shift that the women clean, and another shift comes in for another hours who drive the cabs. And the crash houses. Well,
Absolutely.
and you wouldn't even know it because they keep the place outside very clean and tidy, and they don't have 40 bags of garbage, but that's how many people are in the house.
I don't know, but it just concerns me that it's, every single day you hear about someone that you personally know and they were fine last week. And just like, say, for example, the young lady that worked for Peralta, I remember I just saw the woman when I went to go vote and she's gone. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah, but she was helping out. I lost 4 relatives last week. And, they didn't have pre-existing conditions and they were all under 40.
And that's another thing that they were saying, that it's only older, and it's at all ages, even young people. So I don't know. All right, so I guess we still have, okay, let's go on. Anything else? All right, so I call for a motion to adopt the February 20th minutes. It was not February, it was March 19th, sorry. That's a mistake, March 19th.
This is Abdul Hawladar. I want to say something.
Okay, Abdul.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. We have a sad news that the Bangladesh Society is the largest Bangladesh organization, like 28,000 members here. And our president of the Bangladesh Society passed away by the coronavirus. And I am in charge of the president of the Bangladesh Society now, because I was the senior vice president. And I am in charge of the Bangladesh Society president. So far, we have too many people die here, and we have a graveyard, and so far 72 bodies we buried there. And I'm working like 24 hours a day, whole day. I pick up the phone. Anybody passed away, I contact with the funeral, and I am doing their burial. Okay, now I wrote a letter to our local councilman office, Daniel Ram office, John Lu office, and mayor office, and borough president office about the temporary hospital in Queens, because the Queens is overloaded, the capacity. And they let me know that tennis center will be the temporary hospital. I sent this application to Community Board 3 also. So is the tennis center is going to be a temporary hospital? Do you know about that?
Ms. Reed, do you know how people get to those? Does anyone know on the line? Because I don't know how personally does the ambulance bring them directly there, or can people just show up there? For some reason, I don't know if people could just show up at that. Does anyone know? Or has anyone heard or know of anyone that went over there to the tennis center?
Okay, so are you asking whether or not it is a testing site?
No. This is a temporary hospital, because the Manhattan have Javits Center, Central Park, and Sheep there. So I wrote a letter. Queens need a temporary hospital. I sent to the board meeting. I mean, our community board official also, the email.
Okay. I'm going to have a briefing tomorrow, and I will raise both issues. One with the medical examiner's response, and then also whether or not we have access to the temporary hospital in the park. And I will definitely report back to you once I get an answer.
All right. Thank you.
Ms. Reed, this is Mukit Chaudhary. I am supporting Rahim Hawladar's proposal because Elmhurst Hospital is overcrowded and we have problems with Bangladesh people to get admitted there. They send them back home. So in this case, if there is a temporary hospital in our Queens area, will be benefited. Our community will be benefited. That is what Rahim Holadar is putting forward. Thank you.
Can I say something? I don't want you to feel that it's the Bangladesh community. I went to the hospital 3 times and they wouldn't keep me, and I had a high fever. It's happening to everyone, and I didn't go to Elmhurst. I went to a hospital in Long Island, different ones. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah, that's good idea. Yeah.
You're lucky. You're lucky you could go there, but
they wouldn't keep me. You know, and I kept saying 103 temperature is not normal for an adult. I'm not a baby. But
and Rahim Holadar is Rahim Holadar being the president. He is struggling for our people. We have lots of casualties and sick and fatalities. Please.
All right, then.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're just going to continue with the meeting. But everyone, if you have any concerns or any questions, please email the board office. And as Ms. Reed mentioned, she does have briefings with the city agency, so we can put this to the forefront, because this has definitely impacted us personally, because we are, as far as I'm concerned, the epicenter of this, and it's a lot. So I call for adoption of the March 19th monthly minutes.
I'll
sorry.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Bill Meehan's been the one that's been doing it all night long. He's paying attention.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Bill.
His new spot. you still can be on the board, Bill, because you do the parade and everything else here, so you're still a member of the community. Committee reports. Did Vivian get to come back on again?
Yes, I'm back.
Go ahead, my dear.
Okay. On April 2nd, we held our 3rd meeting in planning CB3's annual Leon Von Holden Memorial Healthcare Expo 2020, to be held on Saturday, June 13th at the Corona Health Center, located 3433 Junction Boulevard, Corona, New York, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., an indoor-outdoor event. This meeting was held via conference call. The participants in attendance were Board Chair Renetta English, Board members Vasantri Gandhi, Kevin Hughes, Marta Leberton, Bill Meehan, Lisa Masulim, Dr. Laverne Nimmons, Philip Pappas, Edmund Rosenbaum, and Arthur Tyler. We discussed the following topics: participant responses, flyer, distribution of volunteer assignments, donation forms, entertainment, refreshment donations, raffle donations, giveaways for board table donations, and monetary donations. We're currently at a standstill, however, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We may need to postpone the event. Our next meeting to be scheduled. Thanking you, Vivian. Doc.
Thank you, Vivian. And as you can see, our board are still operating, our committee is still meeting. And so you will be hearing from me, the other committee chairs, about scheduling your meetings. And as Vivian mentioned, we are in a standstill right now about our health fair, because as you know, we normally have it in front of the health center, and we do not know what rules will be in place, how things are going to be changed in regards to gatherings. So at this moment, it's on a standstill.
Oh, Vivian did not call my name.
And Vivian.
Yes.
You didn't call. Elba was at the meeting, so can you please update? We'll update the report.
Okay, Elba. I'm sorry. I'll add your name.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Parks.
Okay. We had a meeting on Thursday, March 26th. On the agenda was a presentation by the Parks Department on the World's Fair Marina redesign. They had come before the committee before, and they had asked us for a letter of support, which we did give them. Since then, the World's Fair Marina redesign apparently changed, and we asked them to come back to the committee to present, which they did. We also asked them for some clarification on some items. Specifically, the entrance was being moved, and we wanted to make sure that that entrance would remain in Community Board 3. We did receive some additional information that will be reviewed, and it is possible we will have another committee meeting. Other items that we discussed was that the parks are closed for all programming events. Dog runs have since closed. Playgrounds are closed. All basketball hoops have been removed. And our beautification project is also on hold, and that will be determined later on. And our next meeting, we will get back to you on that. Thank you.
You didn't need to get any sort of letter, or that has been put on a standstill right now, Marta?
Well, I need for Giovanna to look at the email that they sent with the clarification, because all they were requesting was a list of our attendees from that committee meeting, and that we saw the presentation they gave us. And I don't think that was enough for those that were in attendance at that committee meeting, which was Giovanna, yourself, Renetta, myself, Hamlet, Ed Wesley, David Rosero, Dorothy, Mr. Gideon, Joyce, Julian, Vivian, Elba, and Lisa Masulin. So we will have to sit down and speak with Giovanna if we should have another committee meeting, or if what they sent us is satisfactory.
Yes, because everyone, they asked, and I know it's reason to talk, but they asked for a letter of support, but we had a lot more questions. But go ahead, Ms. Reed.
No, the information that they submitted, in my view, is not sufficient. So I think that we should have another committee meeting, and you know, take a closer look at it, because what they presented to us last year is very different than what we agreed to then. So I think we have a little bit more time now to look at the project and the changes in its entirety. So we will schedule another committee meeting.
Okay. Committee referrals. I know Lisa had to drop off the call from the borough president's office, but I'd like everyone to know that the borough president was very impressed with our last month's meeting, and she's very supportive. And I know I have in your folder, there is a service, a prayer service that's coming up. Let me go back to, Marta, you have the folder open there? Let me see where it is. With the
Yes,
date of,
I have the folder open.
So can you just tell?
Yes.
The date of it?
The event is a Queens Virtual Interfaith Vigil. It is on Tuesday, April 21st, 2020, beginning at 5:00 p.m. It says for the live broadcast information, visit www.queensbp.org/interfaithvigil. It's joining the Borough of Families Praying Together for those lost in the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic, and for those working tirelessly on the front lines to save each and every precious life.
So if you have time, please join the interfaith event. And it is in your folder, and with all the dates and the times, and it's in the early evening. So we're going to have our legislators' reports, and I'll just call out the names that I see in the order that I see it. James, thank you very much for scheduling the meeting with the controller. Do you have anything else to say? James?
Yes, hi, you hear me?
Yes, so you have 2 minutes.
Okay, so I am going to send a bunch of the material.
We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, let me see. you can't see me either. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. All right, maybe we'll come back to you, James. All right, Jacqueline?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So, good evening, everyone. Hi, CB3. Just to introduce myself in case there are those who I have not yet had the opportunity to meet, my name is Jacqueline Rosado. I'm here as a representative for State Senator Jessica Ramos. So first and foremost, on behalf of the State Senator, I just want to express gratitude to CB3 and its leadership for really working diligently to successfully transition to this online digital system and continuing to service, our neighborhoods at a distance. So honestly, thank you so much for that. Just to provide an overview of what we are doing as an office, our office is continuing to monitor the COVID-19 health crisis currently impacting our state. As we announced online, our team is available to address ongoing concerns. So while our physical office remains closed, we are still available to assist you during our usual office hours, which is from Monday through Friday, starting at 10 a.m. ending at 6 p.m. So we are really trying to utilize online platforms, digital communication, and social media forums. We will continue to provide you with the most up-to-date information and resources that we hope will be useful. And we aim to do that really as consistently as possible. So by directly connecting experts to constituents so that they get the answers they need that fulfill the concerns that we are all feeling. So I'll just give you an example. Yesterday on Facebook Live, our district joined together for a community check-in with key stakeholders to discuss COVID-19's ongoing impacts, with concerns ranging from unemployment, mobile testing sites, school closures, healthcare, small businesses, and other COVID-19 related issues that are happening here in New York. Additionally, our office is paying special close attention and collaborating with corresponding state agencies to combat challenges we are seeing in regards to hospitals, housing, transportation, education, immigration, workforce and labor, unemployment, and small businesses. So our office has a designated liaison for each of those areas. So for example, I will be the primary point of contact for small businesses. So feel free to contact us if there are ever any concerns in any of those areas. We are happy to receive feedback to gain more information on what's happening on the ground and to collaborate whenever possible. We want to ask that everyone takes measures to stay informed, and we are encouraging people to sign up for nightly updates from New York State with the latest news on the government response to the pandemic, and they can do that by signing up online on the governor's executive website. So just to close, because I know it's late, we are open and available for everyone during this time of crisis. Feel free to get in contact with me if ever we can be of assistance. I can be directly reached at 917-209-2567. Again, that's 917-209-2567. Once again, thank you so much for having me on this call, and I'm going to turn it back to the chair.
All right, thank you so much. Lily?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's kind of great to see everyone, kind of, sort of. Just to let everyone know, we are open. Our office is practicing our 6-foot distance because we're not letting anyone in. But you can reach us if you'd like to speak to someone live between the hours of 10 and 2, Monday to Fridays. The Assemblyman has got everyone in his heart, and he prays for everyone's safety.
All right, thank you so much. Jessica?
Hi, everyone. I wanted to just highlight a couple of announcements from the mayor's office today that I think will be relevant to this community board. First, we announced a partnership with the Open Society Foundations, which will establish the New York City COVID-19 Immigrant Emergency Relief Program. Undocumented immigrants and immigrant families have largely been excluded from federal COVID-19 relief programs. So this program, which will be headed by the Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs and the Mayor's Fund to Advance New York City, will create a citywide network of community-based organizations that will provide direct one-time emergency relief payment to immigrant families. And again, this will include undocumented workers. These relief payments will be in the amounts of $400 for an individual, $800 for a couple or a single parent with children, and $1,000 for families with multiple adults and children. Secondly, we're expanding our isolation hotel program. We will now be able to provide hotel rooms to all healthcare workers who are at risk of being exposed or contracting COVID-19 at work and feel that they may be putting their families at risk by going home. And in addition to that, community-based referrals will be such that new individuals can participate if they are unable to socially distance at home. So if there are intergenerational families where there's a grandparent, parents, and children, and for the safety of minimizing spread, they wanted to isolate one family member who is sick, we will now be able to do that. And this outreach will be conducted by the Department of Health in areas with the highest rates of illness and death. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Where are these hotels, Michelle? There's some in our Community Board 3 area that are taking folks.
I don't have a list of hotels,
I'm
but
sorry,
this
Michelle. Sorry, Jessica. I see Michelle. She's going to go next. Sorry, Jessica. I apologize.
No worries. It's an expanding program. I don't think we have a list of hotels that we're working with, but I can get you that info if I can have a day.
Yeah, could they let us know? Because I know that we would like to know where they're placing folks and where they have. So, and if anyone reaches out to the community board, they'd be able to say, okay, you can go A, B, C here or there. And as I mentioned to you on the phone when we had that call, that testing and we wanted confirmation. This is the first time I've ever heard of this place on Northern Boulevard and 80th Street for COVID testing, but we need testing in our area.
Right, and I think as the Department of Health explained, it's contingent on us getting testing supplies. So
yeah,
testing.
But I wasn't satisfied with that response that the guy said that they have a lot of them on the southern side of Queens. I didn't appreciate that.
We are only just now able to organize to create those testing kits in New York City starting in May. But this is something that we previously produced. Again, this is not only this country and all the different states fighting for these testing kits, but this is the whole world. So because we're on this, rapidly evolving level, we are now starting to produce them in New York City. And so hopefully we'll be able to expand that to a wider amount of testing every day. So whoever wants to get a test can, but we're not at that level right now.
Yeah, well, as one of our members said on the call, we're the epicenter of the epicenter of the epicenter. So, thank you. Michelle?
Hello? Hello?
Someone had a question?
Hello?
Who's that?
Yes. Who was the last speaker? Where was the last speaker from?
The mayor's office.
No, okay. Not the one that just.
Not
the one, Lily?
Lily, yeah, from yes, Lily. Sorry. Okay, Miss Reed. Lily from Assemblyman Aubrey's office.
Thank you.
Okay, Renetta, can we go back? Can we go back to Jessica for a moment?
No problem. Go ahead.
Jessica, I don't know if you heard the question about the response time for the medical examiner's office. Maybe you can briefly touch on that.
Sure. So that has been to back up what you had said earlier, Giovanna. That has been a citywide problem. Our system is just did not anticipate that we would have this massive need. So there have been expansions of hospital capacity to store bodies. There have been expansions of funeral homes to be able to hold bodies. But there are some delays, and we did have some assistance come in from the federal government. So this is something that we're ever working on.
Okay, and then if you can also respond to the question regarding whether or not CB3 residents have access to the temporary hospital site in the park.
So for anybody who, the way you get into those hospital beds is that's sort of like acting like as an overflow to Elmhurst Hospital. So if somebody were to go to Elmhurst Hospital and doctors at Elmhurst Hospital directed them to be sent to the Billie Jean King Center, that's under the directive of Elmhurst Hospital. I will note that the bed count in that site was initially 350, and that's since been expanded to 475.
Hi, Jessica. This is Kevin Hughes-Navoa, the board secretary. I have a question from one of the residents regarding the attention that agencies are giving to the homeless problem around the BQE, and that the work that these agencies must continue because it's a recurring problem. Do you care to comment?
I can certainly flag that. I'm not familiar with that specific case, so I can circle back with DHS and see if we can do anything there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Michelle Hernandez. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Michelle Hernandez from the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. My heart goes out to all of you. I am also a CB3 resident, and so it is quite painful to see what our community is going through, but I'd like to share some updates on the work that our office is doing. So on the legislative end, the CARES Act did pass. Some of you might have received your stimulus check this week. I will include some comments in the comment box for the IRS portal around the status of your stimulus check if you have not received it yet. And I also wanted to give you all a sense of the timeline for receiving your stimulus check. So folks who had direct deposit would be receiving it this week. If you are a Social Security beneficiary, you didn't have to have filed your 2018 and 2019 taxes. You normally don't if you don't need to file them. And so it's going to be received through your Social Security benefits. And so you'll be receiving those later on, I believe, starting next week. Starting the week of April 26th, the IRS will start issuing the paper checks to individuals. And so they're going to be issuing them at a rate of 5 million checks per week. It's going to take around, they say, 20 weeks in total to get all of the paper checks out. They will be starting with reverse adjusted gross income. So that means folks who have the lowest incomes will receive their check first. If you have any specific questions about a situation you may have, if you're not sure if you will be eligible or you're a little concerned about where you are in the process, feel free to reach out to the office, feel free to reach out to me, and we can look at your particular case and give you some insight. We also wanted to give you information, reoccurring information. So we're putting out these weekly COVID-19 newsletters. If you receive our newsletters and are on that listserv, you should be receiving them. If you don't, again, I will place a link in the chat box so you can go ahead and sign up to receive them. We're sending them out at the end of the week. And we do want to remind everyone, I know it was mentioned earlier, please fill out the census, encourage folks to fill out the census. And our office is still assisting with casework. What you'll do is that you'll call the office and you can leave a message on the, you will leave a message and we will get back to you. So in the voice note, just make sure you say your name. Do note your phone number because sometimes phone numbers are private and we don't see them, so we can't call you back. So feel free to reach out to us throughout the day, and we do reach out to everyone who's seeking assistance. And I believe y'all also have my work number, so I'll share that with you all so you can call me directly as well. Is someone saying something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was hearing some echoing. But my personal work number is 917-831-7658. And actually, I will type that in as well. So you just have all of that information. 813-7658. And so that's on my end. I'm happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability that y'all might have right now.
There was a question from board member Fausto Rodriguez regarding the caps for salaries in the stimulus checks. He specifically asked about people making over $100,000 and if they're qualified to receive a stimulus check.
Yeah, so it's typically for an individual, it's $75,000. For joint, it can be up to around 150,000. There are specific scenarios where it can differ a bit, but that's the guideline.
$0, Fausto. No money. You won't be getting anything if you make over $100,000.
Thank you.
Okay. James, did you have something to say? I know there was a problem, and then if not, we'll move on to the next person.
Yeah, let's see. Can you hear me now?
Oh yes, we can hear you now, James.
Fantastic. All right, so I just want to say, yeah, thanks for asking all the questions to Controller Stringer. I know some of you probably didn't get to ask a question that you wanted to ask. In fact, I already got one email from one of the board members with a question. So if you have any other questions you want to ask to me, you can send it to my email. I can type it into the chat section. Also, Nabaraj, I know you mentioned something. Please email that to me as well, so I can follow up on that issue that you asked Controller Stringer. I am going to send 4 links to the community board, the 4 things that Controller Stringer mentioned. I'll make sure I send those out so it can be distributed to the board members. I do want to also mention the resource guide, the Controller's Office resource guide for COVID-19. It's very comprehensive. Honestly, it's the most comprehensive thing I've seen so far for New York City residents in terms of lumping together a bunch of information about how people can be helped, whether they be tenants, property owners, various categories. There's a lot of information on ways you can get help, you can get assistance, get money, things like that. So please check that out. That's on our website. I had previously pasted it into the chat, I think maybe around like 8:05 p.m. So if you look at that timestamp, you can see it there, somewhere in that vicinity. And I'm going to send I'm going to send report 2 about the report on frontline workers. And that category describes a lot of people in the area, especially around Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, Corona, also East Elmhurst. So you can get some information about what we're advocating for and how our office is looking to help people who fit that category. So yeah, please reach out if there's anything else.
Thanks, James. Cuban?
No
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Hi, greetings to everybody. So this is Kevin from Councilman Drum's office. I'm glad to see and hear from all of you online. And then first of all, my condolences to Giovanna, Toy, Washington, and Marlene for the loss of your family members. As well as others who didn't mention during the meeting. So recently, council member has spoken out with social media about the devastating situation in our community, being the epicenter of the epicenter, and having advocating for resources, attention needed in our community to fill the gap. So I believe that many of you also read about it. So there are just so many concerns we have in our community. We all as a community have to work together to get through this pandemic. And the council member have been working very closely and tirelessly with the leadership at each level, and advocating for our neighborhoods, our district. I think many of you, hopefully that you receive our e-newsletter. We've been sending out periodically about the community updates and resources, and hope you find that helpful. So recently, this week, our office partnered with the United Shopper Association and Grow NYC to set up a grocery distribution program. So the last distribution is this Wednesday. This was this Wednesday, and so for people who need like fresh groceries, people should visit the location at 4101 75th Street. So they do a weekly distribution, so for people to pick up. Obviously, they have to obey the social distancing rule. And the distribution will be conducted on first come first serve. from what we heard is that it's a very successful in this past event. The food ran out in like within 30 minutes. So anybody would need that should go there, as early as possible. We will also send this information out to the public as well. And also that I also want to let you know that our community legal resource, the community legal clinic is still on. So if anybody need a appointment with attorney, including the immigration, please let us know. You can email us at drum@consul.nyc.gov or call our office at 718-803-6373 and leave us a message so we can get back to you as soon as possible. So that's about it from me. Do you guys have any questions for me?
It's okay. All right, thank you. George?
Good afternoon, good evening, folks. I hope everyone's staying safe and well, and my condolences to all those who have lost loved ones and family members and friends. I feel like Michelle kind of stole my thunder. I wanted to mention everyone that we've been posting a lot of COVID-19 related updates to Assemblymember Den Decker's weekly email newsletter. I've clicked the link to sign up for the email newsletter in the chat. We'll also provide the phone number to our office just in case anybody needs it, because we are still answering our phones Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have folks staffing the phones at all times. We are working remotely. Don't worry about that. And we are still helping people with all kinds of casework, especially issues regarding the Department of Labor and people applying for unemployment. We did receive some good news this week that the Department of Labor was, I'm sorry, somebody need to say something? Okay, we do know that the Department of Labor waived the requirement to make a phone call in order to complete the application, and that instead individuals from the Department of Labor will be calling the applicants themselves within 72 hours if they need to follow up on their application. Having said that, if you don't get a phone call, you can contact our office, number 718-457-0384. You can also email us at dendecker, DENDEKKERM, at nyassembly.gov, and I'm putting that in the chat as well. And that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much for your time. Any questions?
All right. Thank you. Lisa?
I have a question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Keith, please.
I want to ask you. You just mentioned about the unemployment. I had a question about from one of our community person living in our area. If he has a normal unemployment weekly benefit, is he able to get the federal up to July that 600 per week benefit apart from the regular benefit?
Okay, I'm afraid I don't understand your question completely.
Okay, again, clearly, if someone get his unemployment benefit in a normal rate, for example, he worked $1,000 a month, but federal government has declared every week $600 for all unemployment people. Is it will you get the benefit?
Mukeeth, I don't have a good answer for you on that. Can I get back to you on that? I think I have your phone number, Mukeeth.
Yes. Okay.
Let me get back to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All
right. Lisa? Lisa Atkins, did you drop? Because I see your phone was still up there. I guess she's not there. So I don't think is there anyone else I didn't call?
Hey, Renetta, it's Zachariah Boyer from the Public Advocate's Office.
Oh, sorry, Zachariah. I didn't see your number. Are you dialed in or you put your name here? I didn't see it. But go ahead. Sorry about that.
I'm on there. I don't know if you can see me or not. My camera's been a little wonky today.
Yeah, we don't see your name, but I didn't see it. Oh, there I see you down there. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, great. Hi. So I wanted to say thank you so much for having this call. It really warms my heart to see a lot of these community things happening. And in fact, it's one of the only things that's really keeping my spirits up, seeing other people who live in Queens and like talking to folks. So I'll shut up and get to my report. Our constituent services team has been working around the clock to make sure that they handle cases, including helping individuals with signups for SNAP and cash assistance, all of that. Also, there are different portals for walking through with housing and mental health resources. If you know of somebody or you need help yourself, I have given all of the links to Kevin, and he has those things and he can send those out. I also have put them in the chat for people. One thing I wanted to bring to everybody's attention, as many of you know, the Summer Youth Employment Program has been cut out of the New York City budget. Our office has put out a statement calling on the mayor to bring the resources back in the fold. Public Advocate has been fighting to restore and expand that program. If you know of an SYEP provider or you or yourself are a provider, please feel free to reach out to me. We do want to speak with you. I do want to remind everyone that every New York City resident can receive 3 free meals a day. Meals can be picked up at all meal hubs, 7:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. I'm sure many of you know that. I just want to remind people that there are fresh foods available for people. Also, let me just pull this up right here. I've also sent Kevin our COVID-19 resource portal. I also put that into the chat for anybody if you wanted to subscribe to that or look through the resources that are available. Lastly, I'm just going to read out my email address and my phone number so that people can get a hold of me if they needed me. My email is zeoyer@advocate.nyc.gov, and my phone number is 646-397-3435. I can also take any questions if you had any.
Does anybody have any questions?
It's okay. If not, it's after 10.
That's right. It is after 10. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for being on the meeting tonight. You will get further emails about anything that's going on in the community that we get or any other additional services. You'll get that email from Ms. Reed or myself. I will be talking to the committee chairs about meetings that we'd like to have in the month of May, late April. So you will be hearing from us soon. So I call for a motion to end our meeting, or Ms. Reed, do you have anything to add before I call for a motion?
Okay, nothing further
Bill,
to add.
Mute Bill.
Is Bill? Oh.
Okay.
I muted him.
Okay, nothing further to add. I want to congratulate our board again for a very successful meeting. Please continue to do your good work, and more importantly, please stay safe. Thank you.
All right, so I call for a motion to end our meeting at 10:12 p.m.
I so move.
Okay, so moved by Bill Meehan, seconded by Kevin Hughes. Our April 16th meeting has ended at 10:12 p.m. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe, everyone. I look forward to the next one. Hi.
I just have a quick question.
Kevin, you rock.
Stay safe.
Wait, somebody's saying something. What did you say?
City plan.
Stay safe.
I saw on the agenda city planning was given a report. Did they give a report?
No, city planning was not here today.
Okay, thank you. This was a great meeting.
That's good. You enjoyed it. I enjoyed it also. I enjoyed seeing everybody. You're looking very healthy and very snazzy. Yes, Steve, I'm so happy to see you. Right? Steve Kohanik, Steve K, and everyone else. I see Bill is growing a beard. What you're trying to, your COVID beard? Is that what that is, Bill Meehan? He can't hear me.
Boredom.
Boredom? Okay. And Philip got his beard under control. Look, it looks very fancy. You fancy, huh? All right, Hamlet. You don't have nothing to say, huh, brother?
No, not yet.
All right, Elba. Good night. Good night. Oh, yes,
Good night, everybody.
Mr. Howland, my dear.
Get home safe, everyone.
All right, George. Thank you. Be careful.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Keep well.
Good night.